around, all at far below retail prices. So give her a gift from Murray Hill Jewelers, the store with a personal touch, downtown in the Clark Building. Nothing else says love like fine jewelry from Murray Hill Jewelers.
Sam Nover and Jack Ham back at Three River Stadium. We are still a few minutes away from the opening kickoff in this game, and we would like to alert all of our network stations that we will be taking an extra 60-second break before the kickoff. So all of our network stations be alerted to the fact we will stick in a 60-second commercial break before the opening kickoff, and we are now slated for an opening kickoff of about 2:45 in the afternoon. Jack, there are a lot of people who feel that while the Maulers have lost some very, very tough football games in recent weeks, that this is a week that they can come back and prove their character, that even having suffered that embarrassing loss after a 21-0 lead to Denver, that should they come back, play well against New Jersey, and perhaps even win the game, it'll demonstrate some character, and Lord knows they need some.
Well, what they have to do is be able to play well in the third and fourth quarter. And that's why I said earlier that I think New Jersey has a little bit of advantage. When you need a big play, when teams are moving the football and the momentum, you've lost momentum in the fourth quarter or 2 or 3 minutes to go in the football game, you need a big play from somebody. And on defense, we have Jerry Holmes, but they're staying away from him so much that he doesn't have the opportunity to make big plays, to turn the game around, get the football back for our offense. And a lot of times we need a guy like Sam Clancy or Mike McKibben or Ryan Crosby to kind of take charge. And that's what we're going to have because teams are going to move the football, and we need big plays on defense.
Some of that character might be demonstrated by the quarterback, and Glenn Carano has really made some incredible strides of improvement here in recent weeks, having started off the season a little bit unsure of himself, a little timid. Once they acquired Jackie Flowers over 3 weeks ago, he has really cut loose with the passing, and the Maulers really have what you have to term an explosive offensive unit now. They still aren't running the ball as productively as they would like, but Rozier had the big 137-yard game against Denver last week, and one has to feel, Jack, that Carano is one of the reasons for the dramatic improvement.
In the last 4 or 5 weeks, ever since the Washington football game, Carano has come on and played extremely well. And today it's going to be a real test for him because he's going to see a lot different defense out here than he's seen for the first 4 or 5 weeks. He's going to see a zone defense where he's going to have to be very disciplined and dump the football off to either Rozier or Holman or whoever's going to be in the backfield. And also the wide receivers, Anderson and Flowers, who've been running against man-to-man coverage for most of the season, will have to find the intermediate areas, the gaps in the zone defense, behind the linebackers, in front of the defensive backs. So they're going to have to be able to run their routes against zone coverage today. They're going to get some yardage. The key to winning the football game is going to be inside the 20-yard line.
One of the obvious strengths of this New Jersey defense is its linebacking core with 4 seasoned NFL veterans. Willie Harper, Jim LeClaire, of course, of Cincinnati, Bob Horn, and Bobby Leopold. Leopold has just been a very active linebacker with 3 fumble recoveries and 3 interceptions. How do you counteract active and quality linebacking, especially in the 3-4, Jack?
Well, you got to realize, number one, these linebackers are not going to make mistakes. When they go back there, and zone defense is probably the most disciplined. You have to be a real smart football team to play a lot of zone defense. And these 4 linebackers played extremely well. What you're going to have to do on offense is be patient. Get 4 or 5 yards. Get 3 or 4 yards at a time. And don't try to go upfield when it's not going to be there. It's going to be very difficult to try to throw the football deep for a score like we've done in the last couple weeks. Carano has to realize that, take what a defense gives him, and I think even if he doesn't make a lot of yardage today, but put points on the board, he'll show us I think he's an excellent quarterback.
The rain seems to have let up just a little bit, although it continues to fall here at Three River Stadium. The Maulers are being introduced to the crowd here at the stadium, and we're just a couple of minutes away from the opening kickoff. It is week number 9 of the USFL season. We have reached the midway point, the Maulers and New Jersey Generals, and we'll be back in a moment.
Welcome to a world that knows no bounds. A world where records are created and destroyed at the very limits of physical challenge. A world that pits muscle against muscle, mind against mind, in a competition that demands one elusive goal: triumph. Welcome to the world of the athlete, the modern hero, the victors and the vanquished, the men and women of sport who strive for perfection. Welcome to Sportsline 106, the first in-depth frequency-modulated sports show in the country, right here on FM 106. It's hot, it's controversial, and it promises to take you into the core of sports, the very mind and body of the athlete. Sam Nover in Sportsline 106, weeknights at 6:30. Tune in for the action. Call in for the challenge. Nover knows sports, and so will you. So when you just can't cope any longer, Sam Nover and Sportsline 106.
In case you missed the scores from last night, Jacksonville beat Memphis by a score of 12-10. That is particular importance to the Maulers because their next opponent Friday night will be Memphis in Memphis. Houston, behind the great arm of Jim Kelly, the East Brady, Pennsylvania native, defeated Arizona 37-24. And the Birmingham Stallions with Cliff Stout tying a USFL record by throwing five touchdown passes. They defeated the Oklahoma Outlaws of Woody Wiedenhofer by a count of 41-17. What is your appraisal of the league so far this year, Jack? Having obviously seen 8 games in person and seen some of the opposition around the league, what's your feeling overall?
Well, I think number one, I was talking to Lynn Swan before the game here a couple hours ago. Birmingham is right now the class of the league. I think they're very fortunate for New Jersey that they played them early in the season before Joe Cribbs got with the football team, before Cliff Stout got comfortable. Right now, Cliff Stout is playing the best football of his life, and they are the class of the league right now. They could play with anybody. I think right now there's probably maybe 5 or 6 quality football teams in the league, and then I think there's maybe the rest of them you could put a hat over everybody, but there's maybe the Philadelphias, the New Jerseys, the Birminghams. Those football teams are excellent football teams, can play with anybody.
The teams are now meeting in front of their benches and ready to deploy for the opening kickoff. Jack, one other thought here. Terry Daniels gets a start from Mike Williams at one of the quarterback spots for New Jersey today. And, of course, their other one is Kerry Justin, who formerly played in Seattle. It will not exactly be a picnic for them going up against Anderson and Flowers. We've talked a lot about what the Maulers will have to do defensively. New Jersey's going to have some problems stopping the Maulers' passing attack.
And talking to Glenn Carano before the football game, Kerry Justin is probably the cornerback that they're going to try to go at most of the time. He plays a very soft cornerback. Most teams throughout the league have been going at his side. I'm sure whoever is either Anderson or Flowers lines up on Justin. That's the way Carano will go at the beginning of the game.
And the Maulers making some changes now as they deploy to receive this opening kickoff from Roger Ruzick. They have in their deep receiving spots Johnny Durden, Mark Harper is the principal kick return man in the middle, and Mickey Sutton, who will start at cornerback. William Miller has been returning almost all of the kickoffs, but it is Mark Harper in the deep receiving spot, standing back at his own goal line to await this kick from Roger Ruzick. The Maulers have not really had much of a break in terms of weather and what we thought would be some delightful spring football, but we've yet to see a nice spring. Wherever you are, hopefully the Maulers can make it even more enjoyable for you. Here we go. The New Jersey Generals kicking deep. It is Ruzick to Harper at his goal line. To the 10, the 15, to the 20. And he is thrown back to the 18-yard line after he reached maybe the 22. Stopped there by John Joyce. And so the Maulers will go on offense, and they'll spot the line of scrimmage, the 21-yard line. Our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter is Gene Sharam of Dagmar Avenue in Pittsburgh. If the Maulers score on a play of 40 yards or more, anyway, offensively or defensively, Gene will win a pair of tickets to the next Maulers home game and a $50 gift certificate redeemable at Foodland. The tickets are compliments of WAMO FM. From the 22-yard line, pro set backfield with Rozier and Holman. In behind the quarterback, Carano. Holman across the 25, still on his feet, gets to the 27-yard line. Stopped by the free safety, Gary Barbaro, but he picked up 5 yards on the carry.
And I think on the first play of the game, I think everybody's looking for Rozier to get the football. The Maulers crossed him up, and Carano gave it to Holman, who broke a couple tackles and broke it back to the inside and got 5 or 6 yards.
We'll check that offensive line for you in a moment, but it looks like Maggs and Donnie Hickman at the tackles, Corbin and Lukens at the guards, and Chuck Corral, the Penn Stater, at center. Mark Rao is a tight end. Greg Anderson comes wide to the left, and Jackie Flowers to the right. Rozier in motion. It's Holman again for a couple of yards as he reaches the 30-yard line. And he'll be about a yard or two shy of the first down, although there is a penalty marker down. Tom Woodland and James Lockett combined to make the stop, but there may be a legal procedure call against the Maulers. That's exactly what it is.
And I think Rozier going in motion, he started in motion right before the snap count, turned upfield a little bit too quickly, and I think they're going to call it on Mike.
So the Maulers now will have a 2nd down and 8, and Rao comes out along with Rozier, and into the lineup goes William Miller. And another receiver in the person of Johnny Durden. So the Maulers in 2nd and long now have 3 wide receivers, and this has been traditional for them most of the year.
I think they declined a penalty. They're going to take 3rd down and 2, and which I'm very surprised at. The New Jersey defense could be 3rd down and 2 at this point, and short yardage situation for the Maulers.
That's exactly what they have done. They have declined a 5-yard walk-off, and it is 3rd down and 2. And so Rozier quickly comes back into the lineup, and Durden remains there. So they're still in their passing formation with no tight end. Carano with time to throw the ball. He's got all day. Looking downfield, throws it. It's incomplete. He had all day to deliver the ball, and New Jersey dropped 8 men back in coverage, and the pass was shy in the intended receiver. He was trying to get it to Rozier, and it goes his 4th down.
And New Jersey Generals only have 12 sacks the entire year. What they like to do is only rush 3 people, even on 3rd and passing situation. Rush 3 people, drop off 8 and cover. And that time Carano had all day, but just could not find anybody open.
And so Larry Swider is back to do the punting now for the Maulers as they fail to convert the first down. In the deep receiving spot is Gary Barbaro, standing back at his own 30-yard line. And here's Swider's punt, driving Barbaro back to the 25. He breaks a tackle there, gets to the 30, has an open field to the 34, and is finally downed under an avalanche of purple jerseys at the 34-yard line. But one Mauler had a chance to drop him back at the 25. The tackle was finally secured by Al Kimachik. 45 yards on the punt and 9 on the return. And the Maulers now will go on defense, and Brian Sipe comes out with Herschel Walker and Maurice Carthen and the New Jersey Generals, their first offensive series of the day.
I'm very surprised on a 3rd down situation, and the penalty, which only gave them 2 yards to go for the first down, that the New Jersey Generals declined the penalty, but it worked out fine for them. They went there. The Maulers went to 3 wide receivers, just could not find anybody open in that secondary.
The slot is to the left in the I formation. Walker is set in behind Carthen, and now Walker goes in motion to the right. Sipe turns and gives to Maurice Carthen running right to the 35, to the 40, and bangs across the 40 to the 41-yard line. He's tackled there by middle linebacker Ernest Adams, but he had Herschel Walker as a lead block, and he picked up the better part of 8 yards on that carry.
And that time Herschel Walker in motion ran right over Jeff Delaney and helped Carthen get those 8 yards. And they're kind of using Walker right now as a decoy, putting him in motion. You got to respect his speed out there with 4.3 speed. So we got a cornerback on him one-on-one.
Clancy, Graham, Thomas, and Holly are the down linemen. Crosby, Adams, and McKibbin the linebackers on 2nd down and long 2. In motion is Collins, the receiver. McConaughey is the other one. Here's Herschel across the 40 to the 45 and falls forward for another yard, and he gets the first down as he reaches the 46-yard line. Ernest Adams made a stop, but Herschel Walker with the first down carry right over his own guard.
And well, what makes Walker such a great football player? He's so quick off the mark. Being that big, 225 pounds, he hits the hole so quickly that he carries defenders with him. That time he just surged right across for the first down.
Averaging 3.7 yards a carry is Herschel. His longest gain from scrimmage is 21 yards, although he does have 6 touchdowns this year. Pro set backfield again. It's Carthen and Walker, and Collins in motion. And the give on the sweep to the left is Carthen. They miss a tackle there. He gets to the 47-yard line. And a ball is on the ground. It's fumbled, and Walker recovered the ball out of bounds. Over on the far side of the field, back at the 44-yard line. The Maulers had penetration. I believe it was Doug Holly who got his hands on Carthen in the backfield.
Doug Holly got penetration in the backfield, really kind of screwed that play up. And then Carthen let go of the football. But again, Walker, who was alert on the sidelines, picked up the football. And I think we might have a penalty here, so we have to check on it.
Flag on the play.
And the indication is it's against the Maulers, and I believe it may be offsides. So the 5-yard walk-off now against Pittsburgh will carry the ball into their territory at the 49-yard line. Boy, oh boy, just when they seem to have New Jersey pinned back a little bit with a 2nd and 13.
I think we're having a problem with the officials' mic right now, but a lot of times when you're playing as a big offensive line, a defensive line, what they like to do is crowd the line of scrimmage. Don't give that much area in between your offensive and defensive linemen. And when you crowd the line of scrimmage, sometimes you line up offsides.
So it's 1st and 5 now after the fumble and the ensuing penalty. Here's Walker in motion. And Sipe gives straight ahead to Carthen, just pile driving to the 45-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Doug Holly made the stop on him, but this is almost like a free down now for Sipe, and he's yet to put the ball up in the air, and you might think with 2nd down and 1 that on a free play like that, he might be tempted to pass.
This might be an opportunity for him to try to go deep or try to get a big play right now, but this is Brian Sipe is a very disciplined quarterback. He's going to take what the defense gives you. Right now, they're running the football effectively against our defensive line, and really the offensive line is just knocking people off the line of scrimmage.
McConaughey and Collins, the wide receivers, out to the left, and from the I formation on 2nd down and 1. And Sipe now gives to the second back. It's Herschel. He gets a first down, and he just running very low to the ground, reaches the 40-yard line. And that's another New Jersey Generals first down at the 40-yard line. The Maulers have not done much to stop them here as they began the drive back at their own 34, and aided by the penalty, of course. They have moved the drive along very well to the Pittsburgh 40-yard line.
And I'm talking about Brian Sipe, a very patient quarterback. He doesn't care if he throws the football 10 or 12 times throughout the course of a football game, as long as he keeps his offense under control and keeps his football team winning games. And right now he'll take the running game until they stop it.
This is an offense that scored only 3 points last week in their loss to Arizona 20-3, and that's the lowest output of the year by far. Previously to that, they hadn't scored fewer than 17. Here's Carthen looking for a little hole, and hunting and pecking his way for a couple of yards, stopped by Ernest Adams and Jeff Delaney as he reaches the 37-yard line. And that will be a second down and about 7 now. We'll give them a gain of 3 yards on the carry. So they're just mixing up their plays. They have not thrown the ball yet, but with 2 good backs like Walker and Carthen, until the Maulers can stop the run, Jack, there's no reason to put it in the air.
Sipe is a smart quarterback. He's going to run those guys to death until they do stop. And right now we've got him in a 2nd and 7 situation. You might see him throw the football here on play action.
And Collins now goes in motion to the left, and a play action pass for Sipe. Throws it over the middle, wide open, and dropped to the 25. He put it right in McConaughey's hands, and he dropped the football. McConaughey has been Sipe's best friend since coming over here to New Jersey from the Cleveland Browns. He was his roommate in training camp, and Brian likes to go to him, although I understand McConaughey has dropped a lot of passes and been double-teamed a lot.
That may be the reason why Sipe likes to go to the running game, because McConaughey was wide open down around about the 25-yard line. The ball was right there. It should have caught the football. And when you had the running game working so well, that play-action pass held the linebackers in there. That's why McConaughey was open at the 25-yard line.
3rd down and 7. Nickelback is Billy Yancey, who lost his starting cornerback's job this week. And 3 linebackers. Danny Knight now joins Collins and McConaughey on 3rd down and 7. And Sipe goes straight back to pass. He's being rushed. He delivers the football. It's caught by Walker at the 35. And he gets to the 30-yard line. And I believe, well, it's very close to a first down. Herschel was hammered right at the 30-yard line. And whether he got the first down or not, yep, I think he did. He got inside the 30-yard line. He was stopped there by Mark Harper, but not before he picked up a New Jersey first down, and that was all Herschel.
It was a 3rd and long situation. Sam Clancy was putting a lot of pressure on Sipe in the backfield, but he finally found Walker open across the middle, underneath the zone, underneath the linebackers, and Herschel Walker got the last 2 or 3 yards on his own.
It is a scoreless football game with 9 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first quarter. McConaughey and Collins come wide to the right. Collins is in the slot and the I formation again. Sipe from the 29 gives to Herschel, and he trips as he tripped up by Troy Thomas, who just got a hand on him. And Walker went down to the 26, so he gained 3. And there was a pretty sizable hole in the middle there, and had he not bumped into Thomas, he might have gone for more.
That's the kind of play they're trying to get Herschel Walker open. Troy Thomas very fortunately tripped him up because Herschel Walker was cutting back across the grain. Had Troy Thomas not tripped him up, that would have been a big gain.
Jack, as you said at the outset of our broadcast, this is the kind of offensive line the Maulers have great difficulty with. Mackey goes 288. Dave Lapham, the former Bengal, 270. Kent Hull, the center, 261. Wayne Harris, well, John Jewell is in their guard now. He's 261. These are very, very big people up front. Here's Carthen on a delay. And he is stopped as he reaches the 23-yard line. He'll be shy of a first down. And an excellent open field tackle made by number 50, Ernest Adams, a middle linebacker. Very good play.
And we've been very vulnerable against the draw and a couple of times in the last 3 or 4 football games. I think Joe Herring tried to guess what the New Jersey Generals that time had his defensive lineman looping and gaming. And that time Ernest Adams made a good tackle in open field and saved a big play.
So it's 3rd down and 3. Ike Griffin now comes into the front 4 for the Maulers, and they bring in their nickel back, who is Mark Harper on 3rd down and 3, anticipating pass now. And Sipe's got 3 receivers to go to, along with his 2 setbacks. Collins goes in motion. Sipe fades back, little pressure right up the middle, delivers a ball on the money to Collins, and a first down at the 17-yard line. Well, he had pressure in his face. Mickey Sutton coming on a cornerback blitz, got in Sipe's face, but Brian got the ball away, and got the first down at about the 17 or 18-yard line.
And Larry Friday, who's playing nickel back on that situation, really made the cardinal sin of defensive backs. You cannot give ground. You cannot sit there and let the receiver catch the football. You got to settle maybe 10 or 12 yards and drive on the football, and you let the receiver just hook up, catch the ball, and Brian Sipe saw him right over the middle.
And Larry Friday starting today because of the injury to Dave Langlois, who has a knee problem, and Langlois not expected to play at all.
This is a typical New Jersey drive right now. Running the football, trying to punch it down your throat, play action pass, and Sipe is in charge.
6:45 to go in a scoreless first quarter. It is first down now at the 16-yard line for New Jersey. Sipe back to pass on first down. They have run on first down, and this crossed him back at the 27-yard line. He is thrown down by Big Sam Clancy. That is his 6th sack of the year. He leads the club, and only the 13th for the Maulers this year. Both teams came in with only 12 sacks.
And he's our big play guy on the defensive line. He's rushing the passer up the field, getting around the corner of the offensive tackle, Millard, and just cut the corner off. And really, Brian Sipe had no chance that time because Sam Clancy, a good athlete. Sipe tried to step up in the pocket, but Clancy brought him down.
And that is a big loss. It is all the way back now to the they're just laying the ball down at the 27-yard line, a loss of 11 yards. It is second down at 21 now for Sipe, who's got 3 receivers in there with him. And Walker is the lone setback. Speck is the tight end. Herschel stays in to block. Sipe pressure. They got him again at the 37, and down he goes. Mike McKibben, the blitzing linebacker, wrapped his arms around Sipe. He never really threw him down, but the play was whistled the minute McKibben arrived. And that goes as another sack, and now the Generals are in deep trouble. They're even out of field goal range for Roger Ruzick.
And really the credit has to go to our defensive secondary that time because Mike McKibben coming on a blitz, really Sipe had time to throw the football and delivered. Anytime you have an all-out blitz, all you need is a couple seconds to get rid of the football. Sipe looked downfield, couldn't find anybody, and finally McKibben came off the block and really kind of just put a bear hug around him for the sack.
And the crowd comes alive. Not a lot of people here today, as you might imagine, with the inclement weather, but they are vociferous. So it is 3rd and a half a mile now for Sipe, who delivers a ball from his 45-yard line, and it's incomplete. He tried to get it to Herschel Walker, and Mickey Sutton was isolated one-on-one with him, and Sutton actually got a hand on the ball.
At the
So it's, excuse me, Jack.
Same play they tried a number of different times where Herschel Walker gets right down the middle, but Mickey Sutton had good coverage on him, had good position, and the ball goes incomplete.
So Bob Grupp, who is a former a one-year flash in the pan with the Kansas City Chiefs, is back at his own 48-yard line. And he is punting deep to Mark Harper, who's stationed at the 10. Grupp with a high punt. Harper signals for the fair catch and then lets it bounce over his head. And it is down inside the 10 at about the 9-yard line by New Jersey. And, oh, a little post-play activity as the flags go down. I think Amos Lawrence was involved in that.
I think Jeff Speck, the tight end, was also there, and they had a little bear hug around each other. And
They really did.
I think it's going to go if it's no play. Maybe they're going to have offsetting penalties on each other.
So the flag is down. We'll find out what it's all about and see who gets assessed the personal foul, if at all. And we'll return to Three Rivers after this break.
Hey, Pittsburgh, you're terrific. You've got something more. Boys Park Trails and Southside Rails are something more. And you've got a soft drink like you never had before. Ramblin' root beer, something more. So luscious, so mellow. Yeah, Ramblin' root beer, something more. A weekend lark in Mellon Park is something more. A Monongahela paddle wheeler, something more. And you've got the richest, smoothest treat you'll ever pour. Ramblin' root beer, something more. The Maulers win, you know you're into something more. And Ramblin' root beer, something more. So creamy, so foamy, so hearty, so zesty, yeah. Ramblin' root beer, something more.
Ramblin' root beer, as always, caffeine-free.
Ramblin' root beer, something more.
A product of Cameron Coca-Cola.
So after holding the ball for what seemed to be an eternity, the better part of 7 minutes on the drive, New Jersey comes away empty-handed and scoreless. And you got to give the Maulers a lot of credit for that, Jack.
And the defense led by Sam Clancy, who had the first sack, and then Mike McKibben. But it was a whole total defensive effort. Not only the pressure by the up-front people, but also the coverage by the secondary. And the whole defense played well in that last 2 or 3 plays.
Let us pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Pittsburgh Maulers Radio Network.
This is WAMO FM Pittsburgh.
Sam Nover and Jack Ham at a rainy and chilly Three Rivers Stadium. Nice to have you with us on this Easter Sunday. 5:22 to play in the first quarter, and the game is scoreless. The Maulers and New Jersey Generals, and the Maulers begin at their own 9-yard line. And Sean Potts has replaced Jackie Flowers at the slot receiver now from the I formation. Rozier is a deep back in the I. He's yet to touch the ball. Carano now gives to Rozier, breaks into the open at the 15, and carries a tackler to the 20-yard line. An excellent run by Rozier, what appeared to be a misdirection play, and he picked up 10 yards in the first down.
And he literally ran right over Gary Barbaro, who's been an all-pro safety for the Kansas City Chiefs for a number of years. He cut back, got in open field, and Mike is probably not the niftiest guy in open field. He's not going to break tackles by making people miss, but he's going to hurt people in that secondary.
And Flowers is right back in the lineup again, so whatever he came off for was not serious. And Jackie is out there now with Greg Anderson. Carano is yet to complete a pass. Of course, they've only had the ball for one very brief series. In the I formation, Rozier again, a little hole in the middle. It closed very quickly by Jim LeClaire, the middle linebacker. But Rozier got the better part of 3.5 yards on the carry. And he stopped as he approaches the 24-yard line. Bobby Leopold and LeClaire combined to make the stop. So it'll be 2nd down and 7. And the Maulers now bring Johnny Durden in 2nd and long. And the third wide receiver, Durden comes in with a play. Nope. He replaces Jackie Flowers, so they are using receivers as their messengers.
I'm very surprised with that, especially the success that Jackie Flowers has had catching the football. You'd want him in the game all the time, but they're alternating with those guys right now.
Pro set backfield. Carano now looking over the defense. And Durden goes in motion. And the pitch, the give is to Walter Holman. Breaks a tackle to the 30. Fights his way up near the 35. And another first down for the Maulers. Walter Holman running very hard with the football. Was corralled up around the 35-yard line by Tom Woodland, the nose tackle out of Missouri, 6'1", 270 pounds. So the Maulers now with back-to-back first downs get some daylight and some room in which to operate.
And I think looking at the films of last week's game against the Arizona Wranglers, the Wranglers had success running the football, and right now the Maulers have come out and tried to do the same thing and have had a lot of success.
Indeed they did, Jack. Kevin Long ran for 123 yards against his defense in Arizona's 20-3 victory at the Meadowlands. And the Maulers trying to stick it right down their throat. Here's a reverse. Jackie Flowers looking for a block. Gets to the 40, the 45. Gets to midfield into New Jersey territory and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. And he didn't show me a lot of foot speed, but a lot of craftiness.
He got the job done that time. He got the ball. We're trying to do everything right now. 19 yards for Jackie Flowers on the reverse, and he had some couple good blocks on the left side by our offensive lineman. And at the end, just Jackie Flowers makes a few people miss in open field and gets maybe 4 or 5 extra yards. And I think Jackie Flowers has not only has been a good receiver for us, but now running the football in open field has done an excellent job.
Key to it was getting outside the linebacker, Bobby Leopold, and he got the 19 yards on the carry. Here's the give now. Rozier trapped in the backfield, and he is knocked down to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration there by Bobby Leopold, who made up for the play before. And LeClaire was there as well. They're a pretty active bunch. Willie Harper, who played with the San Francisco 49ers, as did Leopold. Bob Horn spent some time with San Diego. Jim LeClaire with the Cincinnati Bengals. So they've got some NFL experience between them. Let's see. Let me add these up. 24, 32. 37 years of experience in that linebacking core.
And right now, probably in the first 9 games of the season, Bobby Leopold is probably playing the best football of any of the linebackers.
William Miller is in the backfield now, along with Walter Holman on 2nd down and 10, 3 wide receivers. The give is to Miller, and he's trapped and brought down back at his 49-yard line. As Jim Burns simply beat his block, a rookie out of Wisconsin lacrosse, and to add insult to injury, this young man was cut from the Maulers camp.
Well, maybe George Heddleson wished we hadn't done that, but that time, a lot of times a play going away from a defensive lineman, you try to cut a defensive lineman off. That time, Jim Burns just beat the offensive block, broke the block upfield, and made the play for a 3 or 4 yard loss.
Jack, let me correct myself. I stand corrected on Jim Burns. He does not cut from camp. He was drafted by the Maulers, but he never did go to camp. I don't think they would have let him get away. Here's a big play, 3rd and 13 from the 49-yard line of Pittsburgh. Carano with protection, throws one down the middle, and it's intercepted by Johnson at the 30, 35, and across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Carano was intending his pass for Jackie Flowers, and a flag is down. Gregory Johnson stepped in front of the intended receiver, and the penalty against New Jersey. So the Maulers get a break.
And it's a big break, Sam, because Glenn Carano's trying to go deep. They're playing a zone defense that time. The defensive back did a good job, Gregory Johnson, of picking the ball off. All he's doing is reading the quarterback back there and broke on the play. And Carano's got to realize it's going to be tough going deep today. The intermediate routes and the routes to the backs are going to be the key today.
Holding. Number 55, defense. First down.
The referee, Verl Sorgen, announces the holding call against Jim LeClaire. And what a great break for the Maulers. It's only 5 yards, but it's an automatic first down as Amos Lawrence comes in the backfield now with Mike Rozier. Walter Holman sits down for a while. 1:49 to go in a scoreless first quarter at a rainy Three Rivers. Carano turns and he gives it to Rozier, wedging now 3 yards off his own right tackle. And he takes the ball down to the 41, maybe 42, 41-yard line of New Jersey. Let's give him a gain of 4. Let's second down and 6 as Woodland and Lynn Matson combine to make the stop.
And there was really no hole there. All it was a straight off-tackle dive play, and all he did was just take the whole pile and make it move 3 or 4 yards. An ordinary back would have been stopped for no gain.
So it's second down and 6 right at the New Jersey 41-yard line. Maulers trying to take advantage of the penalty against the veteran linebacker LeClaire. Amos Lawrence in the backfield gets a handoff, quick opener inside the 35, inside the 30 to the 29. And he's dragged down there by the free safety Gary Barbaro, but not before he got another Maulers first down. 12 yards on the scamper by famous Amos Lawrence.
And what we're doing is running quick traps inside. Again, what we've done is looked at the films last week and saw that you can run the football against New Jersey Generals. A quick trap inside, and right now Gary Barbaro is probably talking to his defensive lineman because he's made about 4 or 5 tackles on this drive.
And Lawrence can thank the rookies on the left side, Maggs and Corbin, for that great hole that he got. He just wedged it out, and boy, he hits a hole as quickly as anybody. Here's Rozier again, tripped up at the line of scrimmage and falls forward to maybe the 28-yard line. So a gain of perhaps a yard on the carry. It'll be second down and 9.
And they try to run the same play again. They had Bobby Leopold. He made a play before for no gain. This time again, he took on the blocker, broke it back inside, and there was no place for him to go. We maybe gained maybe an inch or 2.
13 seconds left here in the first quarter. The Maulers trying to get one more play in perhaps, or maybe they're in no particular hurry. It is second down and 9. I don't believe they'll get the play off. 5, 4. Carano's got him at the line of scrimmage now, and finally he's pointed out to him that the period's about to expire. Why rush the play? And so he wisely walks away, and the first period has come to an end. And the Maulers defense has been the hero so far. At the end of one quarter from Three Rivers, it's the Maulers nothing, the Generals nothing. We'll be back with the start of second quarter action right after these messages.
Anna makes a sexy splash in the movie world.
It's fun. I mean, it's like getting a license to pretend.
Evening Magazine, Monday at 7:30 on TV2.
If Patty Burns and Ray Tannehill have learned one thing, it's that the news doesn't come looking for you.
There's a real need today for more information.
We're covering more ground, more news, and we've got more people.
We're up to 75 now.
All pros, too.
You better be, because there's still only one way to get a story. You gotta be there.
Ray, we better get going.
Gotta be there, Ray. Patty Burns. Be right there.
At KDK TV, we think there's a whole lot more to the news than just talking to you from behind a desk. You gotta be there.
And go for those midnight snack things, fresh off the rack things, packed in a sack things to go. Why wait?
You could be on your way.
Why wait?
When there's no delay.
We got good things going at Stop and Go.
Sam Nover and Jack Ham back at Three Rivers Stadium, just beginning second quarter action in the matchup of the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Mike Rozier has carried the ball 5 times for 18 yards. Herschel Walker 3 for 13 yards. Nothing shaken yet, but I got a feeling somebody's going to have a big day here before it's all over.
And right now I'm very surprised how well our offensive line especially has been moving the football and getting holes for both Rozier and Amos Lawrence. And right now we got an opportunity down on about the 32-yard line and or 28-yard line. We have a chance to put some points on the board and take the lead against the Generals.
It is second down and 9, and 3 wide receivers now in there for Glenn Carano as the Generals use the nickel back, the 5th defensive back, expecting a pass, and they're going to get one. Here's Carano, flips it over the middle. It's caught and dropped by Anderson to the 25, and he was decked. He got hit by Bobby Leopold, and he is still down at the 25-yard line. It was Rozier, I beg your pardon, and not Anderson. It was Mike Rozier out of the backfield, and he is still being attended to now down at the 25-yard line. He really got wrapped pretty good there.
And that's what can happen in the zone defense when people are looking at the quarterback, getting in their areas, and can read the quarterback. You got an opportunity where you can hit somebody, and that time Rozier took the brunt of the blow.
And while they're attending to Mike Rozier, we'll take a break with the score. The Maulers and Generals scoreless. We'll return to Three Rivers in a moment.
Tri-State Mechanical Service Incorporated presents Gotcha number 17, the out-of-town breakdown.
Hello, I bought a new car from you folks, and, well, it broke down.
I'm sorry. Just bring it in any weekday between...
Well, see, it has to be towed over 40 miles.
I'm sorry. Your new car warranty may only cover a portion of that towing charge.
Well, I may need a car to get around in while...
I'm sorry. Your new car warranty doesn't cover rental reimbursement.
Oh.
New car warranties are fine up to a point, but today you need the extended protection you get from Tri-State Mechanical Services. Tri-State covers your car's engine, transmission, drive axle, electrical systems, and more for up to 5 years or 65,000 miles. Plus, you get towing and car rental reimbursement.
Well, look, I may be hung up for a few days here in, where are we?
I'm sorry. Your new car warranty doesn't cover travel expenses.
Tri-State even covers food and lodging. Get automotive peace of mind. Look for the quality dealer that offers Tri-State's extended warranty program. Tri-State Mechanical Service Incorporated. We've got you covered. A division of Frank B. Fuhrer Holdings Incorporated.
Mike Rozier is being given some smelling salts. They still give smelling salts, Jack? What is that stuff they're waving in front of his nose?
I think it is. It is smelling salts. And what I was talking about earlier in that zone defense, when you can set up and read the quarterback and you can break on the football, linebackers and defensive backs have an opportunity where they can just come and make a 3 or 4 running yard start at somebody. And that time they just ran right into Mike Rozier and knocked the ball loose.
He got that helmet of the defensive player like right around his neck. And really popped him good. So it's 3rd down and 9, and Rozier on the sideline now being attended to. Carano with a big play here. Gives on a delay to Amos Lawrence on the sweep to the 25, and a flag goes down as he gets to the 22-yard line. He would have been a couple of yards shy of the first down anyway, but a penalty marker, and he threw it right in the face of the lead block for the Maulers, who I think was Donnie Hickman. It may very well have something to do with that.
It's a hold. It's going to definitely be a holding penalty. It's going to make a decision right now whether the Generals want to take him back out of field goal range and give him 3rd down over again. Tony Lee doesn't have the longest or the strongest leg in the world, but it looks like they're going to take the penalty, move them back, and it'll be 3rd and long situation again.
So the Maulers, who probably look on realistically now at a 3rd and about 19 in terms of converting the first down, may just try to get enough to get back into field goal range for Tony Lee in a football game that is scoreless.
Holding.
Early seconds.
Number 61 offense. Still 3rd down.
Of the second quarter. Indeed, it was Donnie Hickman.
Well, Donnie Hickman had his hands out that time on a defensive back or linebacker and right in front of the official, and he made the correct call.
So the line of scrimmage now is the 39-yard line of the New Jersey Generals, and Carano with a 3rd down and 19 to convert. He's got Miller and Holman in the backfield. Flowers in motion. They're trying to flood a zone here. Carano steps up in the pocket. They got a hold of him, and he goes down at the 45, fumbles the ball, but they rule that he was in the grasp at the 45, and I think it was Jim Byrne who got a hand on him. Or was it 75, Frank Mattias, along with James Lockett? They were all around him, and he went down at the 45.
Well, we're not going to show it on the film, but Don Maggs that time took his defensive lineman and just stuffed him right at the line of scrimmage. Don Maggs has been playing like Sam Clancy, better and better each week. They finally got to Carano that time because the coverage was there. They had 7 people in the secondary. There was no place for Carano to throw the football, and he had to take the sack.
So Larry Swider now will be back at his own 40-yard line. And Gary Barbaro in single safety now at the 10-yard line awaiting this punt. Maulers, of course, have had some problems in recent weeks with the snapper. And it is Chuck Corral who is doing the long snapping instead of Harper, who had the problems in the Denver game. Here's the punt by Swider. It is a high spiral. Barbaro will field the ball at a fair catch at the 8-yard line. I, for a moment, thought he had not signaled for the fair catch. Everybody else stopped in their tracks. I don't think that was a clear and distinct sign, but everybody else got it, and that's the important thing. So, New Jersey gets it back after a 38-yard punt by Swider. We shall break at Three Rivers with a scoreless football game in the second quarter.
You can see it, you can feel it. At Speedy, you're a somebody.
At Speedy Muffler King, we'll give you 25% off our everyday price of a muffler. And right now, we'll give you $10 off a pair of shocks, all fully guaranteed and installed. 25% off mufflers, $10 off shocks. Now at Speedy.
At Speedy, you're somebody.
Sale ends May 31st.
Gary Player for Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday golfing package.
This is Gary Player. Every athlete should take the challenge of Lakeview.
Through October 15th, enjoy Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday package. For only $57.50 per person per day based on double occupancy, you get deluxe accommodations, unlimited green fees, club storage, cart rental, and 50% off on your second-day green fees.
The best golf package anywhere is less than 2 hours away in Morgantown, West Virginia.
So New Jersey now goes on offense again, and they will begin this drive at their 8-yard line. Not quite the same field position they had earlier when they began at their 34. Ken Dombrowski now playing tackle in that front four for the Maulers, along with Graham, Thomas, and Clancy. And the give is to Carthen, trying to get outside, cuts it back at the 10, and he is snowed under right there. Mike McKibben strung the play out very nicely. Ernest Adams came in for the kill along with Graham. And so it is a gain of a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8 now for New Jersey, running the ball at their own 10-yard line in a scoreless football game, Jack.
And that's just good defense by the whole entire defensive football team in the Maulers. They strung the play out, did not give Carthen a chance to turn, get his shoulder pass turned upfield, and finally McKibben from the other side of the field, when he finally did try to cut back against the grain, McKibben was right there.
Walt Michaels has been criticized for being such a conservative head coach with the kind of offensive machinery he has, just to, sit on the ball, play it conservatively, and in doing so gives other teams a chance to stay in the game. Here's the delay now, and the ball carrier, I believe, was Herschel to about the 14. And he was stopped there as they whistle the play dead. He'll be shy of a first down by about 4 yards. Adams and Friday made a stop, and a flag is down again.
Well, right now, what it is,
still 2nd down.
We have to check on the flag right now. I think it's against the New Jersey Generals. It might be illegal procedure, and I think they called it a dead play, and then they'll march off the 5-yard penalty, and it'll be 2nd down again for New Jersey.
So we'll wait for the official call from Verl Sorgen, our referee, but I believe that was it. Is he going to do it again, or has he already had his fun with it? I guess he's used the mic. Do we have a sweepstakes contestant this quarter? Maybe we ought to tell them who they are, right, so they can root for a Maulers play. Our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter is Irene Stang of Pittsburgh. Well, New Jersey's got the ball now, but let's hope the Maulers can convert a 40-yard play for a score. Here's a delay up the middle to Carthen. He gets back to about the 10 and falls forward to the 13-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and about 5, maybe 6 yards now, as McKibben and Clancy combine to make the stop. And Harper comes in there along with Ron Freeman, anticipating pass on 3rd down and 5 for New Jersey at their own 13-yard line, Jack.
Well, it is a little bit of different Brian Sipe out there than I'm used to seeing with playing with the Cleveland Browns, because a lot of times backed up at his own 5 or 10-yard line, you'll see him come out, go play action pass, and try to get a big play and try to get yourself out of that hole in a hurry. He's been very conservative down here right now, and the Maulers have a chance to stop him here and get good field position.
And they've got 3 wide receivers available with 1 setback in behind the quarterback Sipe. And they pitch it out to Walker, to the 15, to the 20, and he fights his way up near the 25, but there is, is there a flag down? I believe there is one down. And so he got the yardage for the 1st down, but this one may also come back as they crossed him up a bit and ran the sweep.
I think it's offside.
Offside. Number 97.
Whoops.
Defense. Penalty decline.
So it's against David Graham, a decline by New Jersey. Rozier, we get the word, has a mild concussion and is questionable for the rest of the afternoon. That is unfortunate.
And I don't think there's anything like a mild concussion. It's a concussion or not. And I watched the trainers working on him on the sidelines, and I doubt if Mike will be back in the football game today.
McAdoo now in at the middle linebacking spot for the Maulers. And he has not played much. Ernest Adams being given a rest. Of course, Bruce Huther no longer even with the club. Fumble in the backfield. And the Maulers have it at the 24-yard line. Herschel fumbled the ball, and they don't give it up very often on fumbles. I believe that is only the 6th time this year that New Jersey has lost the ball on a fumble. and they couldn't have done it at a more inopportune time for them and a more opportune time for the Maulers.
I say that the defense took credit for that, but really it was the handoff between Sipe and Herschel Walker. It was called underneath ball handling, meaning the quarterback is behind the running back, giving it to Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker really never got a hold of the football, fumbled it before he even got hit, and that's a big play for the Maulers.
And it was recovered by Mike McKibben. So the Maulers with a golden opportunity here will break and see if they can push it in the end zone when we come back.
Hey, Pittsburgh, you're terrific. You've got something more. Boys Park Trails and Southside Rails are something more. And you've got a soft drink like you never had before. Rambling root beer, something more. So luscious, so mellow. Yeah, rambling root beer, something more. A weekend lark in Mellon Park. Or rambling root beer, something more. The Maulers when you know you're into. Yeah, Ramblin' Root Beer, something more.
Ramblin' Root Beer. As always, caffeine-free.
Ramblin' Root Beer, something more.
A product of Cameron Coca-Cola.
I've been panning the Maulers bench with the binoculars trying to find Rozier, and I don't see him down there unless, of course, he's put a jacket on. And, of course, then maybe he might be seated there along with the defensive lineman. They might have, I don't remember him leaving the field. Well, now I do see him. He does have his jacket on, and he is. Jack?
I can tell by his legs over
walking
there.
Around. Yeah.
Those massive thighs he has, and that's him on the left side of the field.
Back to the action from the 23-yard line of New Jersey. The Maulers were the biggest. Lawrence slows down, gets outside, and is finally knocked out of the 21-yard line. As there wasn't a lot there, New Jersey strung out the sweep fairly well. They got their men to the outside very nicely. Bob Horn was there, so was Willie Harper. And it may be a gain of about 3 yards by Amos Lawrence, who now has the opportunity that he has so often cherished. A chance to run from that tailback spot and to do the things that he did at North Carolina so successfully, Jack.
But I don't think he really likes to run from that. Right now, he's had the most success from that split back position, getting quick traps, getting into the secondary very, very quickly because he's fast off the mark.
2nd down and 7, and they're in the split backs, and there's a quick hitter for Lawrence, and he gets inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. So he got about 4 yards very quickly off the left side. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Maulers, who are content to stay on the ground here. There has not been much of a passing game on either side today, as both teams have elected to keep the ball on the ground. It is a steady rain, ever so lightly, but it continues to come down. Obviously, making the passing game a bit precarious.
And plus, Amos Lawrence is not a very physical player. He's not that strong a running back. What you try to do is break him right into the secondary very quickly on those traps. When he's got to break tackles to the outside out of the I formation, he has a hard time doing it.
11:20 to go 2nd quarter. Here's Walter Holman straight ahead on a dive play. And I believe he got the 1st down. He is at about the 13-yard line, and he did. It is a 1st down on 3 successive running plays. That time going off his own right guard and right tackle, namely Donnie Hickman and Joe Lukens. And they have run normally to the left in plays where they needed the yardage because the kids, Corbin and Maggs, played so well. That time they may have crossed New Jersey up a bit.
And you heard Joe Penry a couple weeks ago talking how well his offensive line is starting to gel together. On this drive right now, they're just knocking people off the line of scrimmage. Straight dive play this time, the trap before to Amos Lawrence, and they're making big yardage on the ground.
From the 13-yard line of New Jersey in a scoreless football game, Carano turns, play action pass. Looking in the end zone, Anderson is covered, and now he's dragged down back at the 24-yard line. Great coverage over there. It may have been Barbaro, along with Terry Daniels, a cornerback, who went back with Anderson, and that's the play that Carano originally wanted, and it was shut down.
What we're doing right now, we're inside the 20-yard line. We're right at the 20-yard line. This time, Lynn Matson did the job for the defensive line. He made Carano pull up. He could not get outside of the containment, made Carano pull up, try to look for his receivers downfield. They were covered. The secondary did a good job now playing man-to-man because they were inside the 20-yard line, and Carano had to eat the football.
2nd sack of the day for New Jersey. The line of scrimmage is now the 22-yard line. It is 2nd down and 19. The fumble in the backfield, and Holman falls on it. So the Maulers starting to come apart here a little bit. A sack and then a fumble by Carano, and Holman saved the day as he flopped on the ball at the 24-yard line. So they'll lose a couple more yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 21. Jim Byrne was there to cover Holman, but the Maulers almost gave it up, Jack.
Well, with the light rain, it's coming down right now on the field, and the ball is a little bit slick, but usually they have it covered, and the official is right there, has the football covered before the center comes to the line of scrimmage. And then Carano never really got the handle from the center, Chuck Corral, and we almost gave the football up at about the 25-yard line.
So here's a big play now for Glenn. He's right in within field goal range for Tony Lee, but he'd like to get more. Carano pump fakes, throws the ball downfield, and it is caught and dropped to the 8-yard line. It was in the hands of the intended receiver, Greg Anderson. He was sandwiched there between Barbaro and Terry Daniels and dropped the ball. He would not have had the first down, but he certainly would have made the field goal attempt by Lee a lot easier. Donnie Hickman getting up very slowly.
And looking on the replay, again, what New Jersey's doing, they're in a zone defense this time, and Gary Barbaro, coming from his free safety position, almost tears Greg Anderson's head right off. When it's zone defense out there, you have 4 or 5 yards to run it in your area at a receiver, they're going to take some punishment.
Swider kneeling at the 32-yard line, an attempt to 42 yards by Tony Lee, the youngster out of Toledo. There's the placement, and the kick is on its way, and it is good. He hit the upright, and it bounced through. Well, that's a break for the Maulers. They've lost some that way, but Lee gets a break. It took the right bounce off the upright and came through the post, and the Maulers lead at 3-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Now, Pittsburgh Foodlands has something really special for you smart shoppers. Triple bonus coupons. Wait till you hear this. There will be 4 triple bonus coupons in the Foodland ad in this Sunday's paper. Just combine one of these bonus coupons with any manufacturer's coupon worth up to 30 cents, and with a minimum $10 purchase, Foodland will triple its value. Triple its value. Now there are new triple bonus coupons, hundreds of extra low weekly specials, and our double coupons. Now you can use all these great ways to save and come out with the lowest food bill of all. Check our ad in your Sunday paper for more details. But remember this. Foodland has always catered to the smart shopper. Triple bonus coupons, great specials, double coupons. At Foodland, we do it all. Because you know how to make it work for you.
At Foodland, you save the most on the brands you want.
So 9 minutes and 24 seconds remains here in the first half, and the first score has been posted on the board. A 42-yard field goal by Tony Lee, who had the luck of, well, they say the luck of the Irish. I had the luck of anybody. He hit the left upright, and the ball fell across the crossbar, the backside of it, and that's good enough for 3 points. So doesn't make any difference how pretty it is. He got it there. Hackett and Sullivan in the deep receiving spots now for the New Jersey Generals, awaiting Lee's kick. And the rain now coming down a little heavier. And here is the kick, and it comes to Sullivan at the 15-yard line, to the 20, the 25, and fumbles the ball, and the scramble is on. The Maulers indicate they have the ball, and they do. At the 28-yard line, let's see who gets up the bottom of the pile. Ike Griffin is down there, number 93. I don't know whether it was McKibben or Griffin, but the Maulers got the football back as they really racked the ball carrier Sullivan. So with the Maulers again having a break at the 28-yard line of New Jersey and a chance for more points, we'll take a short commercial break. We'll be back in a moment.
Nobody knows where he came from, but you're going to remember his claim. Because now there's perfection in auto protection. Tector. Just ask for him by name.
There's no more dirt and grime inside. He protects your car, ensures the pride. No more rust, there's only shine when Tector's on your ride.
It was in a showdown against some mighty stains that Tector proved himself once again. His invisible fabric protector is first in protecting car owners from the stains they curse. For fabric protection of warranted fame, find the car dealer showing the Tector name. Odorless, colorless, long-lasting too. Tector keeps a car stain-free for you.
When Tector's on your ride.
Because Tector's got you covered.
Second fumble recovery by the Maulers today, and so they will, and that's rather ironic too, because New Jersey's one of the best in the league at the giveaway takeaway ratio, Jack. They came into this game plus 10, and they've given up 2 today.
Well, what happened right there was the kick return man almost fumbled the football down about the 5-yard line when he caught the football, but really who did it wasn't the weather. It was the special teams, the coverage team, the kickoff coverage team by the Maulers really put a good hit on him, and he coughed the ball up.
William Miller and Amos Lawrence in behind Carano. Quick hitter for, well, is it Holman, I believe it is, inside the 25. He fumbled the ball. New Jersey indicates they have it. Now, whether the play was whistled down or not, let's see. The discussion continues down there, and I think the Maulers will still keep the football.
I think that time the ball, he was down on the ground. The official, I think, is making the correct call, but is getting some help from the defensive lineman.
The ball belongs to Pittsburgh.
All right.
Right now, things are going our way. We got an opportunity to put a touchdown on the board here, get up 10-0 on the Generals, and it really takes away their running game if you make a sight play catch-up football here in the first half.
Lawrence and Joel Coles are now the running backs. Holman getting 5 yards on the carry, so it's 2nd down and 5. The ball is inside the New Jersey 25-yard line. At about the 24, from the I formation, Joel Coles the up back, and they give to Lawrence trying to get outside, and there is nothing there. He runs right into the arms of Willie Harper and Jim LeClaire, and they stopped him cold for no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 5 at the 24-yard line of New Jersey, with the Maulers leading 3-0 here and continuing to stay on the ground.
And I appreciate good defense. That time, unfortunately, was on the side of the New Jersey Generals, because LeClaire coming from the inside and Harper on the outside just played good, solid defense, and the running back had no place to go.
Scott Burris, the second-year man out of Ohio State, now replaces Don Corbin at left guard, and Burris has missed all of this year with a continuing knee problem. He was injured during training camp, and so Burris seen his first action of the year. The Maulers have a slot to the right with 3 wide receivers, Durden to the left, and the play is whistled down, and they may have expired the 30-second clock. They did indeed. Delay of game against the Maulers, so they have some problems here and give up 5 yards in a 3rd and 5 situation, complicating matters considerably and making it 3rd down and 10. What was the problem there, Jack?
I think Jackie Flowers was the wide receiver on the outside, really didn't know the play or was confused on what the call was. Went back to Greg Anderson and took a few extra seconds, and Carano didn't have time to get the play off. But it takes it from a 3rd and 5 situation to a 3rd and 11, where you could have a possession down, where you want to maybe go to your back out of the backfield for a possession 1st down. Now you got to go up top for 10 or 11 yards.
In the slot to the right is Anderson. The lone setback is Walter Holman behind Glenn Carano. And Carano back to pass again. Steps up in the pocket. Some pressure. Now he runs 25-20 to the 18-yard line. And he is very close to a 1st down. He slid to the 16, but they are taking the ball back and spotting it right on the 18-yard line. And it may necessitate a measurement here. The referee is asking the clock be stopped with 7:34 to go in the half. And they may bring the chains in to check this baby out.
And this is a big call, because we have Rozier on the sideline. It was 4th down and short yardage. You would go to him. He's always gotten the 1st down for us. We don't have that big back in there right now. And if it's 4th down and short, you know, it's a call by Joe Penry what he's going to want to do. We may hope right now that we did get the 1st down, but Carano lunging there at the 18.
Preston made the saving tackle. They stretch the sticks out, and it is a 1st down. A 1st down at the 18-yard line of New Jersey. So Carano, who ran for daylight there, needed 10 yards and got exactly that. And the Maulers keep their drive alive with 7:34 to go in the half, and Pittsburgh leading this game 3-0 on a Tony Lee field goal of 42 yards that hit the left upright and bounced all the way to the right side. But luckily for the Maulers, all the bouncing was done in behind the crossbar. Got a report on Rozier, and I'll give it to you right after this play. 1st down, give to Holman, straight up the middle, still on his feet, trying to squirm out an extra yard inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. We have been informed that Rozier has been taken to the Maulers locker room for observation. It is still not certain whether or not he will come back to the game. But, Jack, as you mentioned, when we got the preliminary report on a mild concussion, it's hard to believe there is anything like a mild concussion. When you get your, as Lynn Swan, a couple of boosts down will attest to, he had a few of them, didn't he?
He had quite a few concussions. But when you're running a pattern across the middle, you're very vulnerable. You're going for the football. You're wide open. You really...
Holman now 31 yards on 6 carries. Walter running very well with the ball. 2nd down and 7. Play action for Carano. Straightens up, throws it on a crossing pattern. He's got it. Mark Rao at the 5 and 3 and out of bounds. The coverage there by Terry Daniels But a great play-action pass by Carano, and he got Mark Rao, his tight end, in a crossing pattern, and he stepped out of bounds at the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal to go for the Maulers.
Terry Daniel was in the vicinity that time, but that time what we're trying to do is get outside the pressure. Carano had all day to throw the football. Mark Rao running a crossing pattern away from Carano. He hit him perfectly on the sideline and almost took it in for a score.
The first completed pass in the game for Glenn Carano. And we have but 6:28 to play in the half. Boy, this offense, which has been vaunted, a wide-open passing game, has been limited today, but they still lead 3-0, a chance to increase their lead at the moment. He turns and he gives to Joel Coles, and he's trapped back at the 5 and is knocked down as he reaches a 4-yard line. A great individual effort by Kerry Justin, the cornerback, who closed down on the sweep and knocked Coles down back at the 5.
And this is the exact situation we're going to miss Rozier. First down on a 2-yard line. We'd give the football to him 3 times and hammer it in the end zone, got out of that I formation because he's such a physical running back. Right now we have Amos Lawrence back there who isn't that physical, great quickness, but not that physical to get that tough yardage down at the goal line where you need it.
Maulers have not scored a rushing touchdown this season of over 1 yard. Not one. And Carano, incidentally, has contributed directly to the last 13 touchdowns. He's either run for them or passed for them. Lawrence on a sweep to the left. The 3, the 1, touchdown! Well, I knew if I said it, I could break the jinx. A 5-yard run by Amos Lawrence, running in behind Joel Coles, the upback. And the Maulers get a 5-yard touchdown run from famous Amos, and they lead the ball game 9-0.
And Joel Cole should take as much credit for that touchdown as Amos Lawrence, because he coming out was a lead back in the I formation, and he just buried the linebacker and enabled Amos Lawrence to go to the outside and just get inside the pylon for the touchdown.
Tony Lee will attempt to make it 10-0 out of a Larry Swider hold. 5:38 to go in the half, and the Generals got to be shocked here, but the Maulers have been in this position before. The placement, the kick is up, and it is good. And I have a feeling that if today the Maulers can go to their locker room with a lead of any sort, they will not make the mistake that they made last Sunday afternoon.
I think Joe Penny won't even let him go to the locker room. He'll probably leave him out here on the sidelines.
It's 10-0 Maulers over Herschel Walker. Brian Sipin, the Generals, will be back in a moment.
Hey, while there's a break in the action, I thought I'd stick my head in the door here to say hello. I'm Alan Jennings, and I'd like to personally invite you to join me each weekday morning for Lifestyle News. We'll get together at 1:15 to bring you the stories off the beaten path, and we do them like no one can. Just like the Maulers, we're a group of highly professional, dedicated winners, and we'd like to share our Pittsburgh pride with you. So join me, Alan Jennings, weekday mornings right here on WAMO FM.
Gary Player for Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday golfing package.
This is Gary Player. Every athlete should take the challenge of Lakeview.
Through October 15th, enjoy Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday package. For only $57.50 per person per day based on double occupancy, you get deluxe accommodations, unlimited green fees, club storage, cart rental, and 50% off on your second-day green fees.
The best golf package anywhere is less than 2 hours away in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Sam Nover and Jack Ham back at Three Rivers Stadium. Jack, I don't know if you've noticed, but during that timeout, I put the glasses on the Maulers bench, and the offensive linemen are gathered together and pumping each other up pretty good. Lukens and Burris, who's seen his first action, Corbin, Maggs, all congratulating each other, and everybody walking by that group giving them a little swat on the rear end like, you guys did it, you earned it, 28 yards in 7 plays, and one big pass, of course, to Rao the tight end, but they chewed it out on the ground.
And the offensive line has been the key right now. They've been knocking people off the line of scrimmage, and they got to continue to do that to win the game.
Very short kick. Bounces past the deep man inside the 15-yard line. Fielded back at the 12, and the ball carrier is knocked down.
And that was a live football down around the 12 or 13-yard line. They had to get back there and cover the ball. Right now, everything's going to Mauler way.
Rod Pegues fell on the ball back at the 12-yard line. I don't know whether he misjudged it. It was a terribly short kick by Lee, up around the 25-yard line. And it bounced past Pegues, whether they couldn't decide who would take it or not. And finally, Rod went back, and he fell on the ball at the 12-yard line. So the Maulers now are leading 10-0. They've converted both New Jersey turnovers into scores. And the Generals have 5:15 left here in the half. Let's see whether Brian Sipe and Walt Michaels, the head coach, decide to open up a little bit more. I doubt it from down in there. Here's a give to Herschel. Big hole off the right side, and he reaches the 20-yard line. An 8-yard carry by Herschel Walker, stopped by Jerry Holmes, the cornerback, but Walker gets a quick 8 out of it.
And that's the Herschel Walker of old right there. Off tackle, breaking a couple tackles at the line of scrimmage. Finally, Jerry Holmes, I think, brings him down right around the 23 or 24-yard line. But that was vintage Herschel Walker right there.
And the rain continues to fall. It is obviously an all-day rain that we're experiencing here at Three Rivers. The slot is to the left with 2 setbacks behind Sipe on 2nd down and 2. Bryant turns and he gives it off to Carthen. First down, reaches at 25 and brought down there by Larry Friday. But it's a first down for the Generals, under 4.5 minutes to go. And I've held off purposely. Now I'm going to even save it. I got a little thing that I want to say, but I'm going to hold off until late in the game when maybe I can jinx Sipe really good.
Well, right, our last 2 plays, our defense, which has played well in the first half, is getting up some yardage on the running game, both on the right side and this time on the left. And right now, Sipe's got him out to about the 25-yard line.
Ken Dombrowski now moves into that defensive line with Thomas and Clancy, David Graham, Doug Holly. They got 5 down linemen. And Sipe back to pass, throws it out here in the flat. It's caught by McConaughey, his first catch of the day at the 33-yard line. And it'll be a gain of about 6 or 7 yards. They use 5 defensive down linemen, Jack.
Well, even though we're up 10-0, they still want to try to shut down that running game with Carthen and Herschel Walker, which is the big key to the general offense. And I'm surprised right now that Sipe has not gone over to our left side where Sutton is playing that left cornerback position. He did it there and got good yardage.
Maybe because Sipe has run so frequently on first down, Pendry and Joe Herring decided to load up against the run and force Sipe to throw the ball that time, and he got 6 yards on it. 2nd and 4. Here's Walker again, right through his right guard and across the 37-yard line, is finally wrestled down, but I believe he got a first down again. Kent Hull, the big center out of Mississippi State, leading the way for him, and it's a first down. Walker now with 37 yards and 7 carries, and his stats get a little bit better, and they're in the hurry-up offense. No huddle this time. 2:55 to go in the half. From the 38-yard line, it is first down now for New Jersey. Trailing this game 10-0. Herschel again. Slides to the 44-yard line, getting 5 yards, and he just kind of hunting, looking for a hole, and got 5 yards out of it.
And that time, that 225-pound back made 2 or 3 people miss at the line of scrimmage and got 4 or 5 yards. But right now, it's very important for the Maulers to stop the Generals right now, get that 10-0 lead at the half, because you don't want to put them back in the football game with a touchdown or a field goal right before the half. You want the momentum going into that halftime.
So it is 2nd down, and let's call it about 5. The ball spotted just shy of the 45-yard line, still in New Jersey territory. And Sipe, who had huddled that time, went into the hurry-up offense on the play before it. Here's the pitch to Walker. Delaney cuts it down. Delaney lost the tackle. Walker still running over people to the 45 of the Maulers. A superb run by Herschel Walker as Delaney diagnosed the play perfectly, turned it in, got a hand on Walker's foot, and could not stop him. 10 yards on the carry. We've reached the 2-minute warning. So with the score, the Maulers 10, the Generals nothing, but on the move. We'll be back.
Now, Pittsburgh Foodlands has something really special for you smart shoppers. Triple bonus coupons. Wait till you hear this. There will be 4 triple bonus coupons in the Foodland ad in this Sunday's paper. Just combine one of these bonus coupons with any manufacturer's coupon worth up to 30 cents, and with a minimum $10 purchase, Foodland will triple its value. Triple its value. Now there are new triple bonus coupons, hundreds of extra low weekly specials, and our double coupons. Now you can use all these great ways to save and come out with the lowest food bill of all. Check our ad in your Sunday paper for more details. But remember this, Foodland has always catered to the smart shopper. Triple bonus coupons, great specials, double coupons. At Foodland, we do it all. Because you know how to make it work for you.
At Foodland, you save the most on the brands you want.
A reminder that Saturday, May 12th, is Thrift Drug Fireworks Night when the Maulers host the Houston Gamblers. At the close of that game, Three River Stadium will light up with magnificent fireworks display, compliments of Thrift Drug. It'll also be Gimbel's Cervico Flash Dancer Poster Night. First 10,000 here will receive a beautiful color poster of the Maulers' own Flash Dancers, compliments of Gimbel's and Cervico. And, of course, Jim Kelly, the East Brady, Pennsylvania native, will be coming to town with that wide-open Houston offense. Here's Sipe now from the 45 of the Maulers. Play-action pass. Fires one downfield, and it is caught at the 20-yard line by the big tight end, Sam Bowers, 89. Delaney knocked him down, but a play of 29 yards and a first down for New Jersey, and the rain now is really picking up, and it is getting even windier. There is a gale coming in from the direction that the Generals are heading, and that would be from the north. It's blowing right in their face, Jack. Here's a first down from just outside the Maulers' 15-yard line. Sipe with a big play to his tight end Bowers. Now Walker on the pitch. Clancy missed him, and Walker tripped up as he reaches the 14-yard line by Larry Friday, and the rain has really started to come down now. It has intensified considerably. It was a light drizzle most of the ball game, but the wind blowing in a heavier amount of rain and making it very difficult for the players, I'm sure, to even try to navigate out there at all.
Right now, the Maulers have to come up with a big play or either stop and make them go for the field goal. They don't want to give them a touchdown here in the last minute before the half.
2nd down and 9 from the 15 of the Maulers. Sipe with his 2 backs behind him goes back to pass. Looking in the end zone, fires it. It's bounced up and caught by the Maulers. Mickey Sutton on the interception. Running back to the 10, to the 15, and down to the 19-yard line.
That's the big play we needed, Sam, right there. Mickey Sutton getting a tip ball. Time and time again in the last couple weeks, we didn't make the big play. They'd get a touchdown at the end of the half. This time a tip ball right around the 3-yard line, and Mickey Sutton comes up with the big play.
I think the pass was intended for the big tight end Sam Bowers, who a moment ago made a big catch. Sipe put it right in his hands. Delaney had his arms wrapped around the tight end. The ball went up in the air. Sutton caught it at about the 3-yard line and ran it all the way back to the 19-yard line. And so just as Jack Ham talked about the big play, the Maulers made it.
It's so important for a football team that's had a couple of weeks of frustration, losing games in the last couple of minutes and not coming up with plays like that. That time a tip ball, and the defense always works on when the ball was in the air. The entire secondary has to go to the football. That time Sutton coming up right around the goal line made the play, and it's a big turnover because it takes the ball away from the Generals, who would have at least probably gotten a field goal, possibly a touchdown. Now we'll go in with a 10-0 lead at half. Hopefully.
Sipe's, yeah, hopefully is right. Sipe's first interception of the day, but I would hasten to point out that the last 2 times Brian Sipe has played at Three River Stadium, he has been intercepted a total of 12 times. 6 of them in '83. He did not play here in '82. 6 in '81. And he has never won a football game in this stadium.
Well, I didn't really know that, but the key to beating a guy like Brian Sipe, and we've had a lot of success, especially here in Pittsburgh against Brian, is the fact you've got to disguise your coverages. At times we've gotten 5 and 6 interceptions. He has really thrown the ball into the teeth of the coverage. You put pressure on him, and when he puts the ball up for grabs, he has a hard time reading coverages because he's not that tall. He's about 5'10".
Just a little bit shorter than you, Ham.
And he really has a hard time looking over defensive linemen, and he'll loft the ball up for grabs down in the secondary, and that's why we've had an opportunity when I play with Pittsburgh to get a lot of interceptions against them.
So the delay, of course, during a commercial timeout here, and we will be awaiting with great anticipation the Maulers' plan for the final 101 of this half. They would like not to have to put the ball up or risk anything down at their own 20-yard line. But the Generals have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, so presumably if the Maulers don't get a first down, New Jersey might get one last shot. Puddles are starting to form out in the field. There are a couple of them. There's one at the 32-yard line in the Maulers' end, and I imagine at halftime we'll get the Zambonis out there and try to dry that out a little bit. Here we go back to the action. Here's a give off the right side to Famous Amos, high stepping it to the 28-yard line. Famous Amos came off his own right guard and right tackle, found a bit of a hole, squirmed through it, and brought the ball all the way up to the 28-yard line. A very big run.
And he has a chance to play because Rozier's hurt right now with a concussion, and he's taking advantage of it, running inside that time, broke the play on the outside for the touchdown a couple of series earlier, and he's really showing me something in that backfield.
Well, they're giving him forward progress all the way to the 30-yard line, and that is a first down. They may have gotten the first down too quickly with 40 seconds left in the half. Now Jackie Flowers in motion. He and Anderson have not caught a pass today. Here's Lawrence again, just trying to hang on to the ball. Gets to the 32 and is shut down there on the right side by Bobby Leopold. And the clock continues to run. New Jersey electing not to stop the clock after Lawrence got the first down on the first carry in that series, and it continues to run now. 15 seconds to go. Lawrence with 35 yards in 7 carries on the day, and of course they're going to miss Rozier, but so far Holman and Lawrence have done a fairly good job of picking up the slack. There will be no more plays run here in the first half. The Maulers are going to let the clock run out and head for the locker room. And for the second week in a row, they go to the dressing room with a significant lead over a pretty good football team. It is halftime at Three River Stadium with the Maulers leading the New Jersey Generals 10-0. Stay tuned for our halftime report with Tony Giordano right after these messages.
Discover a different kind of television this week. Discover WQED 13. Tonight, Nancy's scandalous marriage to Playboy Shaw becomes a dangerous arrangement. Follow the surprising career of Nancy Astor on Masterpiece Theater tonight at 9. Then, our college is too busy with their big-time sports programs to educate their players. Judy Woodruff looks at some college athletes who made it and some who didn't on Chasing the Basketball Dream. Tomorrow night at 9 on Frontline. And be sure you're not alone for the bizarre story of a woman who draws life from others so that she may live on. Dare to watch Mystery, Thursday night at 9. Nancy Astor tonight, Chasing the Basketball Dream tomorrow, and Mystery Thursday. All this week, and all on your community television station, WQED 13. So discover a different kind of television tonight. Discover WQED 13.
Hey, Pittsburgh, you're terrific. You've got something more. Boys Park Trails and Southside Rails are something more. And you've got a soft drink like you never had before. Rambling root beer, something more. So luscious, so mellow. Yeah, rambling root beer, something more. A weekend lark in Mellon Park is something more. A Monongahela paddle wheeler, something more. And you've got the richest, smoothest treat you'll ever pour. Rambling root beer, something more. The Maulers win, you know you're into something more. And rambling root beer, something more. So creamy, so foamy, so hearty, so zesty, yeah. Rambling root beer, something more.
Ramblin' Root Beer. As always, caffeine-free.
Rambling root beer, something more.
A product of Cameron Coca-Cola.
Introducing the smooth, clean taste of the mountains. It's that time of day when you can say, come on and head for the mountains. You know the best is coming your way.
The best is coming your way, because now you can enjoy the taste of Busch beer right here. A premium quality beer made by Anheuser-Busch. Busch is brewed just one way, the natural way, for a taste as smooth as its name. Busch.
Head for the mountains. Head for the mountains.
So come on now, don't just reach for any beer. Head for the only beer brewed to go down smooth as a mountain stream.
Busch. Head for Busch beer. Head for Busch.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Today's halftime report is brought to you by your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers' lifetime service guarantee. Hello again, everybody. I'm Tony Giordano with you at the half, and the Pittsburgh Maulers leading the New Jersey Generals 10-0 at Three Rivers Stadium. We'll be recapping first half action, but first, this sports update with Dave Hamburg.
And I'm Dave Hamburg, and here's what's happening around the USFL. Recapping Friday night, Vince Evans guiding the Chicago Blitz to a 49-29 rout of the Los Angeles Express. Evans running for a pair of TDs and going to the air for 2 more. Express rookie quarterback Steve Young passing for 302 yards, rushing for 120 more. Also Friday night, Jacksonville nipping Memphis 12-10 with the winning points coming on a safety with just over 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Last night, Jim Kelly passes for 3 touchdowns, bootlegs for another, leading the Houston Gamblers over the Arizona Wranglers 37-24. And Cliff Stout airs out a USFL record-tying 5 touchdown passes, leading the Birmingham Stallions to a come-from-behind 41-17 victory over the Oklahoma Outlaws. Besides the game we're listening to now, Denver is in New Orleans, and the Breakers cling to a 7-3 lead. Philly Stars put their 7-1 record on the line in San Antonio. So far, nearing the half, it's scoreless. And Washington plays in Oakland a little later, with both clubs looking for their first victory of the year. Craig James becomes the first USFL star defecting from the USFL to the NFL, leaving the Washington Federals signing a 7-figure contract with the New England Patriots. James rejoins his former SMU college coach, Ron Meyer, in New England, and he says he couldn't be happier. That's nice for him, but does his defection mean other USFL players will follow suit?
No, I don't think so. We had a unique situation with our contract and everything about it. I think that we started talking about this, and it ended up looking pretty sweet for both sides of the line. I don't foresee that happening. I think that people are going to stay put, and mine was just a very novel situation.
Craig James, if you're a basketball fan, you'll be interested to hear the 76ers stay alive with a 108-100 victory over the Nets, and the Kansas City Kings aren't as lucky. The LA Lakers sweep the Kings right out of the playoffs with a 108-102 triumph. I'm Dave Hamburg, and our halftime festivities continue after this.
Now, the biggest service news in our history can mean big savings for you. That's what your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers are saying about their free lifetime service guarantee. Now you can have your vehicle fixed by us and have the work guaranteed for life by the repairing dealer. It's a first. Here's how it works. If you ever need to have your Ford, Mercury, Lincoln, or Ford light truck fixed, you pay once and we'll guarantee the work for as long as you own it. If the covered part ever has to be fixed again, we'll fix it free. Free parts, free labor. It covers thousands of parts and lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Naturally, this limited warranty covers vehicles in normal use and excludes routine maintenance parts, belts, hoses, sheet metal, and upholstery. Our free lifetime service guarantee, the biggest service news in our history. Nothing else covers so much for so long. See Bill Wells at Washington Ford, Don Husko at McCracken-Sturman Ford. They fix cars for keeps.
Well, before we get started on our halftime recap, let's pause for station identification. This is the Pittsburgh Maulers Radio Network.
This is WAMO-FM Pittsburgh.
Well, the biggest part of the first half, of course, Mike Rozier is out. He is out with a mild concussion. He was hit by Bobby Leopold on a pass play. That was about the last play of the first quarter. And up until that point, he had gained about 20 yards on 4 or 5 carries, so he was off to a pretty good day. But he is out right now with a mild concussion. Well, although they possess one of the most exciting players in all of football, the New Jersey Generals' opening drive was about as dull as the weather. But that's the way they like to do it. Walker and Maurice Carthen gaining 3, 4, 5 yards a carry. Sipe only threw the ball 4 times, completing 2. However, they were moving the ball and moving it well. The Generals moved from their own 34 to the Pittsburgh 17, but there the defense got tough. Sam Bam Clancy came up with his 6th sack of the season to drop Sipe for a 10-yard loss. Right after that, Mike McKibben did the same thing. Sack Sipe for another 10-yard loss. Not only did the Maulers defense move the Generals out of scoring position, it also fired up the offense. Maulers quickly moved the ball out of trouble from their own 10. Mike Rozier broke an 11-yarder. 2 plays later, Walter Holman did the same thing. Then on first down from the 35, Jackie Flowers took a handoff from Glenn Carano, and he ran a reverse for 18 yards into New Jersey territory. After a holding penalty against New Jersey kept the Maulers' drive alive, Amos Lawrence gained picked up 13 yards, and he got the ball to the Generals' 29. But the drive stalled there when Donnie Hickman was called for holding and Glenn Carano was sacked. Well, the second time the Generals had the ball, they made a mistake. Walker mishandled a Sipe handoff at the New Jersey 23-yard line. Mike McKibben, who's been playing a good game, he fell on it, and the Maulers were in business. Amos Lawrence and Walter Holman got Pittsburgh a first down at the 13, but the Maulers could get no further. Carano was sacked for the second time in the game, and that forced the Maulers to go for 3. And Tony Lee hit a long 42-yarder for him, and the Maulers had the lead 3-0. That kick, by the way, hit the left upright, and it caromed through. Then on the ensuing kickoff, the Maulers came up with another turnover as the Generals fumbled at their own 29. The Maulers got 1 first down with runs by Holman, Lawrence, and a scramble by Carano. That was a big one, by the way. It was an 11-yard scramble, and that gave the Maulers a first down by a couple of feet. Carano then hit his...
Maulers have not scored a rushing touchdown this season of over 1 yard. Not one. And Carano, incidentally, has contributed directly to the last 13 touchdowns. He's either run for them or passed for them. Lawrence on a sweep to the left. The 3, the 1, touchdown!
Well, Glenn Carano really didn't figure in this one, although he did hand the ball off. Amos Lawrence did. Tony Lee converted, and the Maulers led it 10-0, and that's how we stand at the half. The Generals had a golden opportunity to score it late in the half. Moving from their own 12, the Generals got to the Maulers' 14. However, Mickey Sutton, who's starting in place of Billy Yancey, who's been benched, he intercepted Sipe near the goal line. The ball went off the intended receiver, Sam Bowers, when he was hit by Jeff Delaney. So we stand 10-0 Maulers at the half. And our halftime show will continue right after this.
It's here at your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers, announcing the lifetime service guarantee. It means you can have your vehicle fixed by us and have the work guaranteed for life by the repairing dealer. Sound great? Here's how it works. If you ever need to have your Ford, Mercury, Lincoln, or Ford light truck fixed, you pay once, and we'll guarantee the work for as long as you own it. If the covered part ever has to be fixed again, we'll fix it free. Free parts, free labor. It covers thousands of parts and lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Naturally, this limited warranty covers vehicles in normal use and excludes routine maintenance parts, belts, hoses, sheet metal, and upholstery. There's never been a car repair guarantee like it before. The lifetime service guarantee. Nothing else covers so much for so long. See T.J. Sorensen at James McCain Ford, Bert Whitport at Northway Lincoln Mercury. They fix cars for keeps.
The halftime show was brought to you today by your participating Greater Pittsburgh Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers lifetime service guarantee. I'm Tony Giordano, now sending you back to Three River Stadium with Sam Nover and Jack Ham.
Thank you, Tony, very much. Welcome back to Three River Stadium, everyone. The rain continuing to come down. The Zambonis have been out for all of this halftime period. In fact, I don't know that the flash dancers even did their thing. I think their entire routine has been canceled because of the weather. And as a result, they have tried to get this field into as good a shape as they can for the second half activity. As I said, the rain continues to fall. Most everybody has gone under cover, those that are here during the halftime, trying to dry out and warm up a little bit because it is rainy and it continues to be very windy and cold. The temperature at game time, 38 degrees, and the wind gusting up to 18 miles an hour. And Jack, Lord knows when this stuff is going to end, but we've kind of endured all this weather throughout the entire season, through the first half of this season. And I think they envisioned this as spring football being a little bit better, but of course, having started in late February and now being in late April, the weatherman certainly has not cooperated virtually every week of the season.
Well, the first half of the season has been inclement weather for almost every football game. Hopefully, the second half will be a lot better in May, June, and July.
What about this halftime activity, which has proven to be fatal for the Maulers in the past? They led Oakland very big at halftime and came back and almost gave that game away before putting it in second gear and winning the game 28-14. It is now the infamous story of the Denver goal last Sunday, leading 21-0, going to the locker room and perhaps planning their post-game parties, only to find that Denver had something planned for them all along, 31 points in the second half. What's Pendry reminding them about, Jack?
Well, obviously, Pendry's going to give him a speech and a long talking to at halftime and telling him what the problems we had in the last couple of weeks. But it's going to be more than just Pendry. I think coming out in the second half, it's going to be the leaders of that defensive football team and offensive football team. People like Jerry Holmes and McKibben and Crosby and Sam Clancy telling everybody on the football team, this is professional football, and you cannot think a game is won, because too many times you give a team an opportunity and give it new life in the third and fourth quarter. All of a sudden, you bring them back into a football game, and on the other side of that field, they're professionals as well. New Jersey has a lot of weapons, so they realize you got to play 60 minutes of football, and that's how you win a game.
We have not heard anything further on Mike Rozier, although I presume he will not return. I can't see them taking any chances at all with a mild concussion that Rozier suffered in the first quarter. But Amos Lawrence has done his job, a 5-yard touchdown run, the only touchdown of the ball game as the Maulers come back on the field. And Walter Holman has run for over 30 yards, so they have gotten fairly good production between Rozier, Holman, and Lawrence. They have run for about 80 yards offensively. Let me check the stats were just handed to us. To be exact, they have 87 yards net rushing in the first half, and if they can duplicate that here in the second half and punch out another score or two, and the defense continues to play well, you never know. They were 6-point underdogs going in. The Maulers looking to upset the New Jersey Generals today. We'll be back with our second half kickoff from Three Rivers Stadium after we pause for these messages.
Due to the suggestive nature of the following announcement, listener discretion is highly advised. This Burger King Bacon Double Cheeseburger message contains strong language and stimulating descriptions. It has been rated PD, perfectly delicious.
Can't you taste that sizzling hot and crispy bacon? Ooh, bacon.
The Bacon Double Cheeseburger is intended for mature audiences only.
2 juicy flame-broiled burgers, cooked up just right.
Continue listening at your own risk.
Tempting melted cheese on top, dripping all over. Can't you just imagine each mouth-watering bite?
We warned you.
Aren't you hungry? Aren't you hungry?
Bacon Double Cheeseburger is produced by Burger King, who is solely responsible for its content.
We've got good things going at Stop and Go. When you don't have time to wait, stop and go. For those midnight snack things, fresh off the rack things, packed in a sack things to go. Why wait?
You could be on your way.
Why wait?
When there's no delay.
We got good things going at Stop and Go.
You know, it doesn't have to be a special occasion, because love is a holiday you can celebrate every day. And the best gift you can give besides yourself is jewelry. Fine jewelry and diamonds from Murray Hill Jewelers. It's all there in a beautiful selection of diamond rings, necklaces, chains, watches, bracelets, and earrings in some of the most imaginative designs around, all at far below retail prices. So give her a gift from Murray Hill Jewelers, the store with a personal touch, downtown in the Clark Building. Nothing else says love like fine jewelry from Murray Hill Jewelers.
Just glancing at the stat sheet here, some things just jump out at me, Jack. Obviously, the 3 turnovers by the New Jersey Generals and none by the Maulers is his most significant thing. But the Maulers have -3 yards passing the ball. I mean, this is an offensive machine that has just been explosive in recent weeks throwing the ball. -3 yards passing the ball.
Well, that's very surprising. But what doesn't show on the stats right now, what the Maulers have done in the first half is take advantage of the opportunity. The fumble by Sipe to Herschel Walker turned into a field goal, and then the ensuing kickoff, the fumble there, we turned it into a touchdown, very similar to what we did with Oakland. Take advantage of the opportunities because the weather is going to be a problem. There's going to be some turnovers. So far, the Maulers have done it.
Let me correct something I said here. The statistical sheet shows the Maulers with 109 yards rushing and New Jersey only 87 on the ground in the first half. So the Maulers lead at 10-0 here, and they will kick off to begin the second half of play. Lockett and, let's see, it's Pegues in the deep receiving spots now for New Jersey. And the wind really whipping it up here and blowing out of the north right into the faces of the New Jersey Generals to start the third quarter of play. And they had it at the end of the second quarter there, and they were trying to drive for their first score, but it was intercepted by Mickey Sutton near the goal line. This is Hackett, and he comes back to the 25-yard line, just shy of it, and it's snowed under there. So New Jersey will begin just shy of their own 25-yard line. Craig Wall's making the stop along with Troy Thomas. So the New Jersey Generals now trailing 10-0. They had total offense in the first half of 118 yards. Then they had only 222 yards total offense against Arizona last week. So I would think that Walt Michaels will be less than pleased with what his offense has done, Jack.
And right now, Joe Penry probably told his football team the ensuing first series at the beginning of the second half is going to be key to the football game. You want to stop him right here and get the ball back.
Let's call the 25-yard line. That's where Sipe will begin this drive. He turns and he gives it a big hole up the middle for the ball carrier, who is, let me see when they umpire it, is Carthon, who crosses the 30 to the 32-yard line. So he picked up about 7 yards on the carry. And Maurice Carthon running very hard with the ball is stopped by McKibben.
And that time, Doug Hawley, a right defensive end, got turned out on the play right there, and Carthon ran inside, got a good block of the whole inside of Doug Hawley, and went for good yardage.
So McConaughey goes wide to the right. In this slot is Collins. And Brian Sipe on 2nd down and 3 has Herschel Walker and Carthon behind him. He gives it to Carthon again. He runs right into Sam Clancy and gets nothing. Clancy closed down from his defensive left end spot. And there was a hole momentarily, but Clancy appeared, and it was gone. And so was Carthon for a gain of maybe a half a yard.
And Joe Herring, and I don't know if he made the call to the defensive lineman. It's a looping, gaming type defense right now. They realize they cannot take the New Jersey Generals on head-on-head. They're too strong and too physical. That time, Clancy, looping in from his left-end position, knifed down the line of scrimmage and made the play. Those plays he's been making for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
3rd down and 2 now for the Generals, trailing 10-0 in the rain and the wind and the cold at Three Rivers. Brian Sipe turns and he gives it off to Walker, slowed down in the backfield, and then he got the first down. What a great effort by Herschel. They had 4 guys who had a shot at him in the backfield. Ernest Adams and Ron Crosby, and Walker ran right through all of their tackles and got the first down.
And right now, Ron Crosby's talking to himself because he had Herschel Walker in the backfield. Obviously, Herschel Walker is a great running back. Broke that tackle in the backfield. Would have been a 3 or 4 yard loss. Would have made him punt the football. Herschel Walker cut it back inside and made a big first down for the Generals.
At the 39-yard line in New Jersey, they have both their receivers split out to the left. They haven't gone to their tight end yet. And the give is to Carthen, and everybody was there to greet him. There's nothing gained at all. Adams was there. So was McKibben and Troy Thomas. No gain whatsoever.
And different than last week, the defense right now is keyed up. They're coming out off the line of scrimmage. They're making things happen that time from only a yard gain. I think they realize they've got to play this second half as if the score is 0-0.
Their big tight end is Sam Bowers, who caught a pass at the end of the first half. It is 2nd down and 9. Brian Sipe fading back to pass, has protection, throws a long one downfield, and it's caught at the 40-yard line as Bowers made the catch, and Larry Friday tripped and fell down, and the ball is spotted out of bounds at the 31-yard line of the Maulers. And the big tight end again, Bowers, who's just coming off the injured list, made the big play again.
Well, Bowers is their starting tight end. He's been hurt for the last 3 or 4 weeks. That time it's play action pass. They faked. Brian Sipe had all day to throw the football. Larry Friday fell down, maybe in that puddle of water down around the 30-yard line. Fell down. Bowers is wide open. Fortunately, leg whipped him and tripped him up, or Bowers would have gone for a score.
So New Jersey with another big play sets up shop at the Maulers' 31-yard line, and the puddle starting to form out on the football field again. The 3 Zambonis did a fairly good job at halftime, but this has been a continuous all-day rain. Sipe now. Play action pass again. Looking downfield. Throws it down here, and it is dropped at the 8-yard line. Delaney had Bowers, and Sam made a sliding attempt at the ball. Got his hands on it, but couldn't bring it in. And Delaney with pretty good coverage, and again, the conditions here are just deplorable.
And that time, Jeff Delaney got his hand inside, knocked the ball loose from Bowers. What they're trying to do is match up one-on-one Bowers against Jeff Delaney. Bowers is a big tight end. He's about a 6'4", 6'5" tight end. It's a mismatch against Jeff Delaney one-on-one. Sipe had a lot of time to throw the football that time. Almost a big play down around the 5-yard line.
Concussion. He's gone for x-rays, and he will not return this afternoon. So the Maulers will have to do it without him. And there is movement in the line, and flags drop, and let's see whether they get the offense or defense. Troy Thomas gives Dave Lapham a little shot on the rear end as if to say thanks for the help.
Number 70, offense.
It was John Jewell, the right guard, and not Dave Lapham, the left guard, but it was New Jersey nonetheless.
An opportunity right now for the Mauler defense. Second and long, 2nd and 15 situation right now. Get an opportunity to stop them right here. I think they're out of field goal range here and get the ball back. You don't want the Generals to take the second half kickoff, march the end of the length of the football field, and put a score on the board and really deflate the Mauler football team.
I'm glad to see a veteran team like New Jersey make the same mistakes that the Maulers have made repeatedly this year. Jack, we've been critical of bad concentration for the Maulers in key situations, offsides, illegal procedure, but New Jersey proved they could do it too, and they're so confused now that Sipe has to take a timeout. They couldn't decide what they wanted to do back there, and I guess Carthen and Walker weren't sure of how to set up for the offensive play, and so Sipe said, all right, guys, we'll give you a full 2 minutes to talk about it. So while they talk about it, we'll take a break. It's 10-0 Maulers.
Now, Pittsburgh Foodlands has something really special for you smart shoppers. Triple bonus coupons. Wait till you hear this. There will be 4 triple bonus coupons in the Foodland ad in this Sunday's paper. Just combine one of these bonus coupons with any manufacturer's coupon worth up to 30 cents, and with a minimum $10 purchase, Foodland will triple its value. Triple its value. Now there are new triple bonus coupons, hundreds of extra low weekly specials, and our double coupons. Now you can use all these great ways to save and come out with the lowest food bill of all. Check our ad in your Sunday paper for more details. But remember this. Foodland has always catered to the smart shopper. Triple bonus coupons, great specials, double coupons. At Foodland, we do it all. Because you know how to make it work for you.
At Foodland, you save the most on the brands you want.
11:50 to go in the third quarter, and the Maulers still leading New Jersey 10-0. Maulers making some changes now, anticipating pass on 2nd down and 15. They've got the nickel back in there, Mark Harper. Mickey Sutton has gone all the way at left corner, and so far, Jack, I say it with my fingers crossed, he's not been hurt on that side.
No, and right now the Generals got 3 wide receivers, so we're expecting him to pass.
It is 2nd and 15 from the Maulers' 36-yard line. Sipe fumbles the ball, and the scramble is on, and I think New Jersey got it back. He pulled out of there and simply dropped the ball. He left it right there on the ground. And the man making the recovery was Brian Sipe. He fell on his own fumble, but it's a wasted down. And so New Jersey now starting to self-destruct as they got good penetration into Mauler territory after the 29-yard pass to Bowers, but it's 3rd and 15.
And what they were trying to do right there was cross up the Mauler defense. They're trying to run a quick toss to Herschel Walker going to our right side, our defensive right side. Fortunately, the corner was there, but Sipe fumbled the football.
So here's a big play now for Brian Sipe and the New Jersey Generals. He's got one setback, and he throws a quick pop out here intended for his wide receiver Collins, and he never looked around for it. Mark Harper had the coverage one-on-one, but Sipe saw the blitz coming, released the ball early, and Collins never turned to look for the ball. It was Danny Knight and not Collins, I beg your pardon, 80 and not 82, and it goes as an incompleted pass, so it's 4th down. And let's see what Walt Michaels has planned now on 4th down and 15 for New Jersey.
Well, that's a play right there where it was really Collins' fault because Sipe reading the blitz.
It was Knight, I believe. Jack, I was guilty of identifying the wrong player.
Knight, who should read the free safety blitzing on it. He should make a quick hook, which we call blitz controlling. Sipe put the football right where Knight should have been. He just didn't read the coverage.
Here's Ruzik's field goal attempt. It'll be a 53-yard attempt. Barbaro will hold at the 43-yard line, and now the clock has expired again. Delay of game against New Jersey again. And so Michaels now, I believe, has decided on his punt team after Barbaro let the clock run down, he and Ruzik, and it expired. Another 5-yard walk-off, and if they want to try it into the wind, it would be 58 yards, and I don't believe he's got that kind of range.
And I think that penalty might even hurt the Maulers because I don't think he could have made that field goal. We probably would have had good field position. Now what they're going to try to do is just put a coffin corner kick and maybe pin the Maulers back, maybe inside our 10-yard line.
So Bob Grupp will punt the ball, and he's standing back on his own 46-yard line, and he is punting to Mark Harper, who is in single safety at his 10. I can't believe these weather conditions. I mean, you know, sun could shine all week long, and on football Sunday here in the spring, the worst weather imaginable comes out. Here's a bounce inside the 10 to the 5, the 3, maybe the 2-yard line. The Generals let it roll dead. And Mr. Ham, you were precisely right. It absolutely exploded in the Maulers' face. 38 yards on the punt by Bob Grupp, and it rolls dead at the Pittsburgh 2-yard line. And that's where they will go on offense. We'll be back to Three Rivers, leading 10-0.
Gary Player for Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday golfing package.
This is Gary Player. Every athlete should take the challenge of Lakeview.
Through October 15th, enjoy Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday package. For only $57.50 per person per day based on double occupancy, you get deluxe accommodations, unlimited green fees, club storage, cart rental, and 50% off on your second-day green fees.
The best golf package anywhere is less than 2 hours away in Morgantown, West Virginia.
You can see it, you can feel it. At Speedy, you're a somebody.
At Speedy Muffler King, we'll give you 25% off our everyday price of a muffler. And right now, we'll give you $10 off a pair of shocks, all fully guaranteed and installed. 25% off mufflers, $10 off shocks. Now at Speedy.
At Speedy, you're a somebody.
Sale ends May 31st.
Our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter is Jenny Tamala of Travis Drive in Pittsburgh. If the Maulers can score on a play of 40 yards or more, Jenny, you'll get a pair of tickets to the next Maulers home game, compliments of WAMO FM, and a $50 gift certificate redeemable at Foodland. But they got some work here. From their own 2-yard line, double tight end, the give to Amos Lawrence, wedging out maybe a yard as he reaches the 3, possibly 4-yard line, and it's thrown back. So this is where you really miss Rozier. Woodland and Leclerc combined to make the stop after he gained about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, especially that inside running game where Rozier is very, very confident, breaking tackles, breaking into the secondary from the inside position. Amos Lawrence is very effective going outside, using his speed and quickness, getting to the corner. Right here, this is where you need a tough yardage, and we'll miss Rozier.
Dan Dubiago comes racing out as Maggs and Donnie Hickman are the tackles, and they've got Jackie Flowers split to the right as a lone receiver. Mark Rao and Al Kimichik, 2 tight ends. Lawrence cutting back, and he dives forward to about the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. So he gained a couple of more. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 now for the Maulers, trying to get out from under their own goalpost and leading here 10-0 and trying to be as conservative as possible.
And the Generals realize right now they can get, if they can stop the Maulers here inside the 10-yard line and get good field position, you don't expect to get a great punt off in this kind of conditions. And it's going to be a game of field position in the second half. And if they can stop the Maulers right here, they can take advantage of the situation.
And let's see if Carano elects to throw the ball. He's got Anderson and Flowers in there. And they have not caught the football today. It has just not been that kind of day. Carano on a sweep to Lawrence around the outside. He's caught at the 5-yard line and dropped. An excellent play by Gregory Johnson, the strong safety, the former Seattle Seahawk. And so Larry Swider, with his back to the out-of-bounds line, the end zone line, will have to punt the ball. And it is not an enviable position to be in with a wet football and rain conditions persisting here, and the wind, of course.
And I've got my fingers crossed right here. There have been so many turnovers on the punting game right here. Hopefully Corral can get it to Larry Swider. He can get off a good kick.
Swider at the deepest point of the end zone, right under the goalpost. Awaiting this snap now from Chuck Corral. High snap. Swider comes down with it, and Swider gets his punt away. And a pretty good one up here at the 45-yard line. It is caught by Barbaro to the 40, the 35, still on his feet. Fumbles the ball. Maulers have it. Maulers have it. Mark Harper comes away with the football at about the 30-yard line. A 40-yard punt by Swider, 14 yards on the return by Barbaro, and that is the 4th turnover of the day for the New Jersey Generals. Who would have thunk it? A team that was plus 10 in the takeaway giveaway has gone -4 today, and the Maulers are very happy beneficiaries. We'll be back to Three Rivers.
Nobody knows where he came from, but you're going to remember his claim. Because now there's perfection in auto protection. Tector. Just ask for him by name.
There's no more dirt and grime inside. He protects your car, ensures the pride. No more rust, there's only shine when Tector's on your ride.
It was in a showdown against some mighty stains that Tector proved himself once again. His invisible fabric protector is first in protecting car owners from the stains they curse. For fabric protection of warranted fame, find the car dealer showing the Tector name. Odorless, colorless, long-lasting too. Tector keeps a car stain-free for you.
When Tector's on your ride.
Because Tector's got you covered.
On the first down, following the fumble recovery, Amos Lawrence tried to sweep the right side and lost a couple of yards, so it is 2nd down and 12 now for the Maulers. Back at the 28-yard line. Ernest Adams hit Barbaro, forced the fumble, and it was recovered by Harper. Here's Walter Holman sweeping the left side and getting about 4 yards, so the Maulers now will be 3rd down and about 8 or 9. As Holman found it very difficult running, and it is difficult running. It is particularly difficult without Rozier in there, and the weather conditions don't make it any easier. You can almost see, Jack, at the skin part of where the baseball infield is, puddles have formed all the way around. It starts at the far 40-yard line, swings out near the 50, and comes back to the near 40-yard line, and it kind of pencils in, as it were, the skin part of the infield. Of course, they had to recover that with the artificial surface for this football game. Short gain on 3rd down as the Maulers stay on the ground. Ball carrier was Amos Lawrence, and he got, or William Miller it was, and he got just a couple of yards. So the Maulers will kick it away. Jim Byrne made the stop, and with 6:28 to go in regulation, in the 3rd quarter, I should say, the Maulers leading 10-0, and just the lousiest weather conditions you could ever imagine. And I think Joe Pendry's thinking is, hey, we'll play conservative, let them have the ball, and let them take the chances.
It's going to be a game of field position the entire second half. If we can pin them back to maybe our own 25, 30-yard line, they're not going to be able to go the length of the field in these kind of conditions for a score. And like I said, it's going to just be who has the best field position in the second half.
Swider, good snap. And he gets his punt away and drives it over Barbaro's head. Fair catch way back at the 17-yard line. An excellent punt by Larry Swider. Is kind of a line drive, but he also got a leg into it, and he drove Barbaro back to the 17-yard line. A 49-yard punt by Swider under pressure and no return. So New Jersey has to start in not very good field position, just as you were talking about.
And Gary Barbaro, that played before that when he fumbled a punt, they would have had good field position on the Mauler 32-yard line. Now after that series where we didn't move the sticks for the first down, Larry Swider again got off a great punt down out at the 17 or 18-yard line. And it's going to be very difficult, like I said, in these conditions to try to possess the football and move it all the way up the field. Somebody's going to slip and move, and you're going to have to be thrown for a loss, and the receiver's going to fall down, and to move the football 83 yards or whatever for a score is going to be very difficult. So it's going to be a game of field position the entire second half.
Swider, by the way, is the third leading punter in the Eastern Conference of the USFL, and he has been steady. And a big punt there to get the Maulers out of trouble. Larry with an average of nearly 41 yards per punt. So New Jersey has the ball, trailing 10-0 with 5:52 to go in the third quarter. And the field conditions even more slippery. We talked about it the last time we had slippery field conditions, Jack. And I think at that time you were of the impression and the feeling that the offense still has a little bit of an advantage because the receiver always knows where he's going.
Well, play action pass, they don't have the wide open offense that maybe some of the other teams like the New Orleans Breakers have, or the Houston Gamblers. They're more of a running football team, so it's not going to be that much of an advantage for them. Their wide people are probably the worst part of their offensive scheme. Their running game is strong, their running backs are excellent, and if you get Sipe and their New Jersey Generals in a catch-up situation, they'll have a hard time coming back.
Philadelphia leads San Antonio 14-0 at the half, and New Orleans is leading Denver by a score of 10-3. That is also a halftime score. So here we go now, back to the live action. Sipe put only 3 points on the board for his team against Arizona last week, has nothing to show today. Here's Herschel off the right side of the 20, spins to the 25, still on his feet to the 30, and gets a first down, and he can explode. Man with 4.3 speed, and there's reason why Herschel Walker is the most talked about collegian since Tony Dorsett. Just an outstanding football player, and he did that off the right side. He's got 74 yards and 12 carries today.
It was just a right off tackle play. He made people miss. Larry Friday, who was an excellent tackler in open field, he brushed Larry Friday off right at the line of scrimmage and broke that play and almost took it for a score. We got to make sure they don't get any kind of big yardage or big plays like that and make them possess the football a long way.
14 yards on the scamper by Herschel. Here he is again going left. McKibben turns him in, and they catch up with him and drop him to the line of scrimmage. Good play by McKibben. He allowed the backside pursuit to catch up after turning the play in. Troy Thomas and David Graham and Sam Clancy were all there. And so it's no gain. I know Clancy was looking forward to meeting Walker all week long. I think he was mumbling to himself, Herschel, you won't run on me.
And I think we've been critical, and at times is justified that our right side of our defensive football team hasn't been playing as well as maybe Sam Clancy or Ron Crosby on the other side. The last 2 or 3 weeks, starting with McKibben, they really shored up that side of the football field. That time was just good, solid defense. A linebacker contained it, McKibben, turned it back inside, and made the play.
Doug Holly is the injured Mauler on the field, and now he's being helped off to the near sideline, the rookie out of SMU. So while they attend to Holly, we shall break. It's 10-0 Maulers, third quarter.
Dave Hamburg with a Maulers Sports Update at the half. Philadelphia has a 14-zip lead against the San Antonio Gunslingers. The Stars looking for their 8th victory against only 1 defeat. New Orleans Breakers, Tim Smith picks off a Denver Gold pass inside of 1 minute to go in the second quarter, then drives the ball close to yet another score. Denver's Steve Tremble blocks a field goal try, so at the half, the Breakers lead 10-3. Coming up in Oakland, the USFL Ineptitude Bowl. Washington faces the Invaders, and both teams are still in the hunt for their first victory of the season. Both teams have identical 0-8 records. Monday night, Tampa Bay takes the act to Michigan, and if Michigan wins, they'll have a handsome 7-2 mark to lead the Central Division. Coming up next weekend, 3 games on Friday, including your Pittsburgh Maulers traveling to Memphis to maul the Showboats, maybe. New Orleans will be in Philadelphia, and Jacksonville travels to our nation's heartland area to play the Breakers. 2 games on Saturday featuring Washington and Tampa Bay, and San Antonio goes into Arizona. I'm Dave Hamburg with a Maulers Sports Update.
And don't forget, you'll be able to hear that Memphis Maulers game right here on our Maulers Radio Network next Friday night, beginning at 8:10 in the evening. Here comes Brian Sipe again on 2nd down and 9, and he gives it on the sweep going to the right side. And Herschel just bouncing off tacklers to the 39-yard line. Well, I don't know. They said that he wasn't playing very well this year, and he had a bad shoulder. He didn't run with intensity, and he'd go into a pile, and he'd quit. He didn't look like any of that stuff to me, Jack.
I think he might have heard my comments about him in the pregame show, because right now in the first half, and he's coming off the mark. He's running with authority, breaking tackles like the Herschel Walker of old, and maybe he had some really serious shoulder problems in the last couple of weeks, but right now he's running excellent.
It is third down and about 1.5 yards now for New Jersey to keep the football. Maulers would love to shut him down here. Carthen is the up back, and they give to Herschel right over his own right guard. He squirms through to the 45-yard line. No contest. Excellent blocking by Millard and Jewell on the right side. And he just squirmed through, and he got 5 quick yards.
And Maurice Carthen, who's been playing well for the New Jersey Generals, a lead back in that I formation, made a key block. We call it isolation play right on the linebacker, and that time Herschel Walker broke it into the secondary.
Ernest Adams has come off the field, and he's getting beat up pretty good in the middle there. Howard McAdoo, the youngster out of Michigan State, who's a backup middle linebacker, now that Huther is gone, is playing in the middle. And Sipe is trying to exploit the middle. And he gives this time to Walker. Now going outside. Clancy's got a hand on him. Help arrives, and down he goes. Friday was there, and so was McKibben. He gained maybe 1 yard on the carry.
Well, they run that play to our left side a couple times with Sam Clancy and Ron Crosby. This time they stretch the play out, and Ron Crosby, coming from his linebacker position, stops Herschel Walker for maybe 1 yard gain. And this is what we were trying to do, get him in a second or third and long situation, make Sipe throw the football.
As you would expect with the kind of weather today, there are 11,426 no-shows for the ball game. 25,800 tickets were distributed for this ball game, and the number of people in the house, 14,418, who have braved some just horrendous weather. Here's Sipe back to pass. Delivers a football short of his intended receiver, the tight end Sam Bowers, and a flag is down back of the line of scrimmage.
This might be a penalty. I hope it's not against the Maulers for roughing the quarterback. I think they might call holding on the offensive line, one of the offensive linemen from the Generals, because Sipe really got hit right when he delivered the football, had no chance of getting that ball completed, and I think it might be a holding penalty.
That's the indication, holding against New Jersey. It was 2nd down and 9, and if the Maulers elect to take it, and presumably they will, it'll be 2nd down and 19 and get the Generals deeper in their own end. I think the rain, if it's possible, is even intensified.
Number 70, offense, decline. 3rd down.
Well,
that's a tough penalty to decline, especially the way the field conditions are out there. If you get him in a 2nd and 19 or 18 situation, that's a lot of yards for Sipe to make up. And 3rd and 8 or 9 is more of a possession down situation, and I'm surprised that the Maulers decided to decline that penalty.
Well, they have, so it's 3rd down and 9. Earlier in the game, as you may remember, the Generals refused a 5-yard penalty and forced the Maulers into a 3rd and 2, which was not that difficult, and they didn't convert it. Here's a pitch to Walker, trying to get outside. He gets outside Clancy to the 50 and run out of bounds, shy of the sticks. Jeff Delaney came up to knock him out, and he got help on that far side. Larry Friday was there. In fact, Friday may have been the first one to make contact, and they come up a good 5 yards shy of the 1st down.
Well, the Generals we're guessing, we're thinking prevent defense, where Sipe is going to go back and throw the football against the three wide receiver formation. That time they try to cross him up, but Mark Harper, also on the outside, made the play, and Walker's maybe 3 or 4 yards short.
So here is Bob Grupp back at his 35-yard line. He'll be punting to Harper again. In fact, the Maulers have 2 players back. Sutton is the short guy at the 25. And he goes for the fair catch, and he makes it on his knees at the 25-yard line.
We had a flag down, Sam, and we got to wait for this one because it was a 4th down and 4 situation, and it might be an illegal procedure against the Generals, or it might be an offsides against the Maulers. We have to wait and see. It's illegal procedure against the Generals.
Against New Jersey, exactly. And the Maulers have the ball in fairly decent shape, and the heads-up fair catch by Sutton. Pendry sent 2 men back that time, and he had Sutton deployed as a short man.
Illegal formation, offense, declined, 1st down.
So the Maulers wisely take the football here, and under the conditions it could have been, Jack, it could have been a lot worse than that. Sutton with a very, very heads-up play at the 25-yard line. So 2:05 remains here in the 3rd quarter, and the Maulers now, with the wind at their back, although this is kind of a swirling thing, it's just kind of blowing the rain every which way.
And we're probably right now in the worst part of the field, and as you talked about earlier, it's just a quagmire down there by the 20, 25-yard line. But a lot of people don't understand what an illegal formation might be on a punting game, and what occurs. You're trying to block your man on the punting game, and you're trying to create a pocket for the punter. And a lot of times, the guys that are on the offensive line, who are linebackers or defensive people, who are on the punt kicking game, they line up not on the line of scrimmage. You have to line up on the line of scrimmage. If you don't do that, it's called illegal procedure, illegal formation.
Well, we have a moment. We invite you to test your sports knowledge in Burger King Sports Trivia Contest. Our question number 5 this week is, the first professional football game was played in Pennsylvania. What city was it played in? Register by filling out the back of your Maulers ticket, or any one of the 46 area Burger King restaurants have entry blanks. The prize is a week for 2 at world-class resorts in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. And the winner will be announced at the Saturday, May 12th Maulers home game with Houston, that at 8 o'clock in the evening. Once again, the first professional football game played in the state of Pennsylvania. What city was it played in? From the 25-yard line, the Maulers now come out of the huddle. They go into the I formation, and they've got Amos Lawrence in the deep back, and the up back is Walter Holman. And it's play action for Carano. And he throws a pass. It's caught by Lawrence, and he falls down to the 27-yard line. That was a secondary receiver, because Carano wanted a lot more than that, I can tell you.
Well, he's trying to guess what the defense of the New Jersey Generals at that time, and play action pass. You really think we're going to be very conservative, try to run the football, make sure there's not any turnovers. But once again, the Generals were in a zone defense, and we had to hit the running back underneath, sort of like we tried to do with Rozier, where he got hurt in the first half. Tried to hit the running back underneath. That time we only got 3 or 4 yards.
Glenn is 2 out of 5 for 16 yards today. It is 2nd down and 8 for the Maulers. Carano turns and gives to Lawrence, working his way along the line of scrimmage, reaches the 30-yard line, then is thrown all the way back. He's hit there by Big Jim LeClaire, the inside linebacker. And LeClaire now in his 13th year out of North Dakota. I know you know him personally. He's had some pretty good years in the NFL.
I've played with Jim a couple times in the Pro Bowl. He's a smart football player. He called the defensive signals for the Bengals, and was part of that excellent defensive unit that went to the Super Bowl against the 49ers a number of years ago. Came over here and has done a good job over here as all the linebackers for the Generals.
I can't really impress upon you enough how horrid the conditions are at Three Rivers. The water is simply just sitting on top of this artificial surface. Carano short drop, caught by Flowers, up around the 45-yard line. And that is the first catch by a wide receiver on the Maulers today. Carano to Jackie Flowers for the first down, and he caught him in the seam of the zone at the 45 and got the big first down, and keeps the clock moving with under 25 seconds left in the third quarter.
Keeps the clock moving. Now we have pretty decent field position around the 45-yard line. And that time, Gary Barbaro, the ex-all-pro safety, didn't come across the middle quick enough. And Carano delivered the ball to Flowers just in time and got the first down.
So they keep their drive alive, and they keep the ball away from New Jersey. And now Flowers points to Carano and says, look, you don't have to run a play. Walk away from there. And he did. He's going to let the third quarter expire.
And he got that information right from Joe Penry, who was yelling on the sidelines to Flowers, who relayed it to Carano.
So we have ended 3 quarters and in a horrendous weather condition Easter Sunday. The rain continues to pelt the folks here at Three Rivers, and obviously the players as well. And so far, the Maulers have enjoyed every raindrop. It's Pittsburgh 10 and New Jersey nothing. We'll be back.
We are Dodge, an American revolution.
They're rolling in every day. Destination, your nearby Dodge dealers. No more waiting, this is it. Now's the time for the driving sensation Dodge Daytona. Catch on to the revolutionary Dodge Caravan, or grab hold of the high-tech Dodge 600 ES. Family cars, economy cars, Ram tough pickups and Ram Chargers. From Omnis to imports, it's all here now. So get rolling to your nearby Dodge dealers for all the details while we're rolling them in.
Just give us one chance now to show you what we can now. We'll take you just as far as you can go. We are Dodge, an American revolution.
You know, it doesn't have to be a special occasion, because love is a holiday you can celebrate every day. And the best gift you can give besides yourself is jewelry. Fine jewelry and diamonds from Murray Hill Jewelers. It's all there in a beautiful selection of diamond rings, necklaces, chains, watches, bracelets, and earrings in some of the most imaginative designs around. Jewelers, the store with a personal touch, downtown in the Clark Building. Nothing else says love like fine jewelry from Murray Hill Jewelers.
Sam Nover and Jack Ham back at Three Rivers Stadium, about to set fourth quarter action for you. The Maulers leading New Jersey 10-0. And Jack, I can't tell you how important it is that the Maulers got through the third quarter unscathed. That has been their absolutely worst quarter. They have been annihilated by the opposition this year in 8 games to the tune of 58-10. And that usually started the downside for them. But they survived the third quarter. They lead 10-0 going into the fourth quarter. It's apparent this is a different team that came out of the locker room this Sunday than the one that went in last Sunday.
And it's a credit to Joe Penry, because a young football team, after 2 weeks of really heartbreaking losses in the last quarter, come back today and play excellent football in the conditions they have out here, and the experienced general team that has all the turnovers, has the fumbles and the turnovers that the Maulers have converted into scores. The Maulers at this point, in a really a downpour out here, have not committed a turnover, no interceptions. They've been hanging on to the football, and that's the key why they're up 10-0.
Our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter, by the way, is Lois Jacobson of Allison Park. Lois, I would think your chances of getting a 40-yard play today are not real good. I'm rooting for you, but the weather here is so horrid that they just simply aren't going to throw the ball an awful lot, I don't think. They made the big play to Flowers, however, just a moment ago. So here we go, starting fourth quarter action. The Maulers have the ball. It is first down at their own 45-yard line. Flowers in motion. The give to Holman, coming back against the grain, and he's down right on the line of scrimmage. It's just so impossible to get any footage down there. Mag's trying to clear the way for him, but the tackle made by Lynn Matson, along with Tom Woodland, the nose tackle, so it's no gain. It is second down and 10 now for Pittsburgh, running the ball from their own 45-yard line. I mean, you got to like slide along. These puddles are everywhere. This entire field is inundated with water.
It wouldn't be a bad time right now to try to maybe a reverse, a misdirection play where they can come back against the grain, where people can't make a quick cut back the other way, can't come back on a play. It might be a good time for that.
And here's the pitch to Lawrence, sweeping left. They've got him hemmed in back of the 40. He gets away from one man, and he's still trying to work his way up the sideline, and they throw him out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He thought for a moment about reversing his field, and then thought better of it and took his loss. And the ball now is spotted way back at the 40-yard line, so he loses about 5 or 6 on that carry.
And not only did he lose 5 or 6 yards in that time, but also ran out of bounds where, I'd like to have him just run the clock, keep that clock moving at all times. He stepped out of bounds that time, and now we're in a third and long situation. And I wouldn't be surprised again if Carano is very, very conservative right here. He's got a chance, if he does not make the first down, to punt the ball away and have the New Jersey Generals go a long way for a score.
Third down and 15. If you joined us late, Mike Rozier has not played since midway through the first quarter. He went out with a concussion and will not be back today. Carano avoids a rush. Then he gets sacked back at the 32-yard line. He broke out of the pocket for a moment and then ran right into the arms of Frank Mattiace, first-year pro out of Holy Cross. That is the third sack of the day for New Jersey. And so the Maulers, who began the fourth quarter and this drive at their own 45-yard line, now will find the line of scrimmage their own 33, and Swider will have to punt the ball from about his 20. So that was not a very good series at all.
No, and Carano had Holman right in front of him to dump the football off to him, let him try to make people miss in that little lake we have out there in the field. But he decided to hang on to the football, not risk throwing the football, and now Swider will probably punt the ball from about the 25.
Barbaro blowing on his hands, trying to stay warm. He is in the deep receiving spot at his own 30-yard line. Chuck Corral has snapped very well so far today, replacing Jeff Harper as a long snapper. And let's see if he can keep it up. This one is perfect, and Swider gets it away. Another good punt. High, Barbaro fields the ball, fumbles it again, and the Maulers have it. Then they lost it, and let's see, the scramble continues. The Maulers had it and gave it right back to him again. And I think it was Harper who almost had the ball again. Mark Harper had nobody around him. The football was there. He dived on it. But the conditions are so deplorable, the ball squirted away, and New Jersey got it back. So, sorry for the false alarm. New Jersey has the ball, and we'll return to Three Rivers in a moment.
You can see it, you can feel it. At Speedy, you're a somebody.
At Speedy Muffler King, we'll give you 25% off our everyday price of a muffler. And right now, we'll give you $10 off a pair of shocks, all fully guaranteed and installed. 25% off mufflers, $10 off shocks. Now at Speedy.
At Speedy, you're a somebody.
Sale ends May 31st.
Gary Player for Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday golfing package.
This is Gary Player. Every athlete should take the challenge of Lakeview.
Through October 15th, enjoy Sheraton Lakeview's in-season weekday package. For only $57.50 per person per day based on double occupancy, you get deluxe accommodations, unlimited green fees, club storage, cart rental, and 50% off on your second-day green fees.
The best golf package anywhere is less than 2 hours away in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Well, other than the fact they haven't put any points on the board, New Jersey has moved the ball much better than the Maulers today. Walker with 93 yards and 16 carries. Herschel's had a big day. Sipe 5 out of 11 for 81 yards. One very costly interception on a tip pass. It wasn't really Brian's fault. And here they go to work again from their own 27-yard line. Sipe back to pass, flips it out to Bowers, and he drops the ball at the 30. It was a clear-cut drop at the 30-yard line. Nobody around him. Jerry Holmes had the coverage, but he put it right in his breadbasket.
Well, that's a play Bowers should have had. Maybe we'd probably gotten maybe 3 or 4 yards. It was a underneath route, and what we're trying to do now, we're not playing man-to-man coverage. The field conditions out there dictate you got to play zone defense because you don't want to have anybody slip down on man-to-man coverage and go for a big play. A lot of people are out there playing zone.
Second down and 10 now for Sipe and company. He's got Carthen and Walker in behind him. Here's a pitch to Herschel. Cuts it up over his right guard to the 30, 35, 40 in the open field. At midfield and down to the 45-yard line. And the saving tackle made by Mickey Sutton, who started at left cornerback today, and he made the saving tackle on Walker. What a nifty run by Herschel.
Well, that time was just a toss play to Herschel. They run all day today. This time going our left side, Sam Clancy and Ron Crosby. He cuts back against the grain. He's having no trouble out there with his footing. And Mickey Sutton, coming from the other side of the field, came down and really wrestled him down right around about the 46-yard line.
So it's 1st and 10 in New Jersey, making a bid to get back in the game. They trailed 10-0. Here's Collins coming near side in motion, and the pitch the other way to Walker. Cuts it up at the 45 to the 43-yard line. And it's snowed under by David Graham along with Howard McAdoo, the middle linebacker, who got over from that middle linebacking spot to make the tackle. And I think they're spelling Ernest Adams a little bit today, Jack. He's been out of there on a few occasions.
And right now, Doug Holly is limping a little bit, and Sam Clancy is asking for the trainer to come out in the field. He's limping, but what we can't do on a Mauler defense is give up those kind of big plays like Herschel Walker just had for a big yardage to get them now in good field position. You want to do that. Make them work for their plays, make them work for their yardage, 3 or 4 yards at a clip, because it'll be very difficult to possess the football all the way down the field. Herschel that time almost broke it for a big score and would have put him right back in the football game.
And Bobby Van, the trainer, trying to assist Holly off the field. He is limping and limping noticeably, and now he has to be helped off the field as he puts his arms around a couple of people to help him get to the near sideline. Walker now with 122 yards in 18 carries on the worst track you could ever imagine. I mean, you talk about a mutter. I mean, Herschel's doing it here today, and there just are puddles all over this place. It is just indescribable. The rain just like there's absolutely no place for it to go. And without the Zambonis to come on and to sweep it away or to suck it up or whatever they do, the water is just sitting right on top of the surface. But Walker, as Jack pointed out, is having no trouble running. Ike Griffin replaces Holly at that defensive end spot, and now Adams is back in there, middle linebacker. 12:13 to go in regulation time. Maulers leading by 10. Here's Walker straight up the gut to the 40-yard line and still forging forward to about the 39. He'll be about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down. So again, the Maulers put New Jersey in a must situation on 3rd down, although I have a feeling we may be in 4-down territory.
I think right now Walt Michaels realizes they've got to have 2 scores to either tie or win the football game, and on 3rd down or 4th, they're going to go for it at this point. And the big run by Walker got them out of bad field position, got them down into Mauler territory, and now Sipe can run the exact same offense he started out in the football game, running the football because he got enough time with 11 minutes and 48 seconds. If he scores here, he'll be buried back in the game.
David Graham was injured on the play and is also being helped off the field. Jack, obviously, the field conditions make these injuries happen with greater frequency. You lose your footing, you slip, you turn an ankle, you twist a knee, or I would imagine the traction here is very difficult. I'll let you comment on that when we come back. But there is a timeout with the Maulers leading 10-0. 11:48 to go in the 4th quarter.
Hey, Pittsburgh, you're terrific. You've got something more. Boys Park Trails and Southside Rails are something more. And you've got a soft drink like you never had before. Ramblin' root beer, something more. So luscious, so mellow. Yeah, Ramblin' root beer, something more. Rockin' Melon Park is something more. A Monongahela paddle wheeler, something more. And you've got the richest, smoothest treat you'll ever pour. Ramblin' root beer, something more. The Maulers win, you know you're into something more. And Ramblin' root beer, something more. So creamy, so foamy, so hearty, so zesty, yeah. Ramblin' root beer, something more.
Ramblin' root beer, as always, caffeine-free.
Ramblin' root beer, something more.
A product of Cameron Coca-Cola.
So here we go again. The Maulers the fans try to implore the defense to hang in there. Here's play action for Sipe. Throws a wobbly pass downfield. It's caught by Walker at the 20-yard line. He gets up and starts to run again and is dropped to the 15. And this is like a comedy of errors. It's like a Mack Sennett comedy here with people falling all over the place. It's hard to walk, let alone run. And that time the defender fell down. Walker caught the ball, fell down, got up, started to run again. And they finally stopped him at the 15-yard line, but an excellent catch by Herschel.
Well, Herschel Walker had good coverage. Mickey Sutton was right there. The ball was underthrown, and Herschel Walker just on the football. Bad weather. He's running well and catching the football well, and he's the key to why the Generals are right back in this game, down around the 15-yard line.
23 yards on the pass and a wobbly one from Sipe to Walker. Here's Herschel straight up the gut, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And he is met by a half a dozen purple-shirted Maulers. Larry Friday on top. Troy Thomas was there. So was Ken Dombrowski. It'll be no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10 now for the Generals with 10:32, and they're in a must situation. They've got to get something out of this drive. They're down 10-0. Of course, they'd love the touchdown, and the Maulers would love to hold them to a field goal right here at the absolute best.
Well, if they can't hold them to field goal, and right now they're in the field goal position, but I'm sure the Generals want a touchdown right here, and I'm sure you're going to see Walker can maybe get the football again.
From the I formation, 2nd down and 10. Now they swing Herschel in motion to the right. Sipe with only Carthen in the backfield. Pumps, brings it down, throws it again. It's caught about the 11-yard line by Bowers, and he's dropped immediately by Ron Crosby and Larry Friday. So he gets short yardage on the play, a gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the completed pass. It's 3rd down and 5 now for New Jersey, and the clock continues to run with 9:45 to go.
And I think you talk about big plays in a football game. 3rd down and 5 right here. They want to keep this drive alive and get the touchdown when they're down in near close. That time, Brian Sipe avoided the rush. He's getting some pressure up in the middle. He avoided the rush a little bit, got outside, finally found Bowers open for about 3 or 4 yards.
3 wide receivers now. They slot Collins to the left. McConaughey is the wide receiver to the left, and to the right it is Danny Knight on 3rd and 5. And the draw, and they stop him in the middle.
Sam, we got a penalty right here. We got a penalty on offsides against the Maulers. What we try to do is try to get an all-out blitz that time, but the guy, I think it was Jeff Delaney, slipped, came across the line of scrimmage in a neutral zone, and they're going to call it offside, which is going to negate a big play by the Maulers.
How unfortunate. That's exactly what they did. They stuffed him on the draw play, but the Maulers will be assessed a 5-yard penalty here, and they will walk the ball now down to about the 6-yard line and very close to a 1st down by New Jersey. My goodness, almost.
That's a big
offside. Number 54, defense. Still 3rd down.
Ron Crosby is the guilty party.
I'm not even sure what we were trying to blitz. What Ron Crosby is trying to do is fake it, and he can try to come back out. It's real wet down under the flag.
It's 3rd down and less than a yard to go for a 1st down. And the Generals now in obvious territory to go for the touchdown. If they didn't make it here, they'd go again. Here's Herschel, just whacks into the stack and gets the 1st down to the 4. McAdoo was there. They used 2 middle linebackers. Both McAdoo and Adams were in the game. And just trying to get some beef up there against that huge offensive line of Mackey, Lapham, Hull, Harris, and Millard. These guys average about 270 along the front. And they're just wedging out some yardage, and they got the 1st down. So New Jersey now has a 1st and goal to go with 8:50 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Generals trailing the Maulers, the upset-minded Maulers, 10-0. And they've got a double tight end with 2 setbacks in the pro set. The give is to Walker around the left side to the 5. Touchdown, Herschel Walker. He just outran Howard McAdoo to the corner of the end zone. And so the Generals wait a long time to get on the board, but they get a very big touchdown here, Jack Ham.
Well, it was a play where it's really wet on that side of the field. Herschel Walker taking that handoff from Brian Sipe, faked inside, held the defense for a second, and came right back outside, beat everybody to the corner. Jeff Delaney trying to make a shoestring tackle, couldn't do it, and he gets in the corner of the end zone. Somehow good backs, no matter what kind of weather it is out there, make things happen, and Herschel Walker today has played excellent.
Barbaro will hold now for Ruzick, who will attempt to make it 10-7. Here's the placement, and the kick by Roger Ruzick is up, and it is good. And so with the clock stopped, exactly 8.5 minutes to play in regulation time, in just a positively miserable weather Easter Sunday at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the lights have been on throughout. And the Maulers clinging tenaciously to a 10-7 lead over New Jersey. We'll be back.
Now, Pittsburgh Foodlands has something really special for you smart shoppers. Triple bonus coupons. Wait till you hear this. There will be 4 triple bonus coupons in the Foodland ad in this Sunday's paper. Just combine one of these bonus coupons with any manufacturer's coupon worth up to 30 cents, and with a minimum $10 purchase, Foodland will triple its value. Triple its value. Now there are new triple bonus coupons, hundreds of extra low weekly specials, and our double coupons. Now you can use all these great ways to save and come out with the lowest food bill of all. Check our ad in your Sunday paper for more details. But remember this, Foodland has always catered to the smart shopper. Triple bonus coupons, great specials, double coupons. At Foodland, we do it all, because you know how to make it work for you.
At Foodland, you save the most on the brands you want.
Well, if the Maulers are ever going to pull a big upset and win a big football game in the early history of this franchise, it is there right now for the taking. They lead the New Jersey Generals 10-7. The Generals having just scored their first touchdown of the day, and the Maulers somehow are going to have to find a way to wrestle the momentum away and maybe put something else on the board, Jack, if at all possible. But they got to give the defense a chance to stay off the field here.
And what they got to do is start with the kickoff return. They can make up a lot of yardage right here on the kickoff return. They can get it maybe up to around the 30-35 yard line with a good return.
Here's Ruzick. His kick sends Harper deep to the 2-yard line, to the 10, the 15, and he gets clobbered at the 17-yard line. So they do not succeed in doing that. They will begin this offensive series at their own 17-yard line. John Miller is the man who made the stop, and as usual, we're delighted to have all of our network affiliates on this Maulers radio broadcast today. WMMN in Fairmont, WZZE in Central City, WDAD in Indiana, WBVP in Beaver Falls, WHJB in Greensburg, WBBW in Youngstown, WEIR in Weirton, and WAMO-FM, our flagship station in Pittsburgh. And we alert all of you to stand by for station ID after this play. From the 17-yard line, Flowers in motion. Carano turns, gives to Holman. Runs into his own blocker, into 2 tacklers, and is stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Let us pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Pittsburgh Maulers Radio Network. This is WAMO-FM Pittsburgh. 7:30 to play in regulation time. The Maulers leading the New Jersey Generals 10-7. Have a second down and 10 at their own 17. Split backs. Carano wants to throw it over the middle, and it's caught by Mark Rao and then dropped at the 25-yard line. The pass was behind him, and Rao reached back, got his hands on the ball, and I think as he collided with the turf, it kind of popped free.
And Bob Horn, a linebacker, dropping into zone defense right now, knowing that you can't play man-to-man out here in this lake we have on the football field right now. Almost tipped the football, and I think Rao might have seen him. But right now, Carano has got to move the team. We can't sit on the lead right now. It's only 10-7. We got to get a couple first downs and maybe pin the Generals back with a punt.
Have you ever played in worse conditions than this, Jack?
I think our championship game against the Houston Oilers here a number of years ago.
I remember that one, yes.
Where they fumbled the football about five or six times in the first half.
Carano throws a pop out here to Lawrence, and it was in behind him. And it's incomplete. John Preston with the late coverage. The pass was there. Lawrence coming out of the backfield, but Carano threw it badly. Although I don't know who could throw it any better under these conditions. It's just not that kind of day. Even the passes that Sipe has completed in the touchdown drive and earlier were not exactly gems.
It looks like they've changed back here on the punt return. Right now they have Hackett back there, a wide receiver, and taking Barbaro out after a few muffed punts that he's created back there. And anybody who can catch a football right here has got to get some sort of award.
Swider will punt this ball from about his own 5-yard line. Come on, Corral, get it back to him. Corral has had perfect snaps all day. This is a little low, but Swider fields it and gets his punt away. End over end, fielded at the 50-yard line. To the 45, shy of that, and thrown out of bounds. A good defensive play by Howard McAdoo. Nope, it was Craig Walls, the youngster out of Indiana, who got a hand on his shirt collar and just dragged Hackett out of bounds right in front of the Maulers bench. A 35-yard punt, 7 yards on the return. And so the Generals have the ball back again, and most importantly to them, they have it in superb field position inside the Maulers' 50-yard line. Let's see, they're holding the ball now, trying to keep it dry. Then they haven't spotted the ball, but it'll be about the 47 or 48-yard line.
And what they can do is go back to the same offense they've had before, running the football. Sipe may not have to throw the ball here, but running football with either Walker or Carthon.
And it's Walker to the line of scrimmage and knocked down right there. Mike McKibben and also McAdoo with arms around his legs, and Herschel draws a crowd wherever he goes, and that time he tried to cut back over his own left guard, and he was hit, dropped for no gain at all. So the clock continued to roll here, 6:45 to play. Boy, this rain has been relentless. Just has not let up for one moment. It's lightened for a while, but it certainly has not stopped for a moment. Doug Holly is back in the lineup. He has been out a couple of times with a leg injury. And the give play action pass. Here's McKibben on the blitz, and the pass is incomplete. Sipe saw McKibben coming on a late blitz and tried to dump it off to Carthon, and it goes incomplete. So it's a 3rd down and 10 now for New Jersey. Sipe 7 out of 15, 108 yards.
I think we're going to go to our nickel defense right now in a 3rd and 10 situation. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Herring tries to set up his defense in a zone. Make sure you take away the 10-yard pass, make it happen underneath, and make the tackle here and force the Generals to punt the ball away.
And the crowd comes alive again, trying to get the defense pumped up. This is a very big play. The tight end Bowers in motion. Sipe goes back to pass, throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. And flag comes down, and interference will be called on Larry Friday. It was intended for Clarence Collins, the rookie out of Illinois State. It was a late flag. As Collins went down, I thought he had slipped, but he must have gotten some help from Friday because there are 2 flags down.
We're going to check on the monitor right now. Larry Friday, a very aggressive defensive back, plays tough man-to-man coverage. The ball was thrown. He did get his hand on him or his leg, and he tripped him up a little bit. An official threw the flag. A big penalty against the Maulers.
And they're walking off the 15-yard penalty for pass interference. Friday mugged him pretty good before the pass.
Pass interference, number 27, defense, 1st down.
He made some contact with him before the pass arrived, and the official said it disrupted his running of the pattern and certainly led to him going down as he did.
And that was a 3rd and 10 situation. If it had been incomplete pass, it would have been 4th down. It would have forced the Generals to punt the football. Now they have a 1st down at the 33-yard line.
So here they go again. New Jersey gets new life. Sipe on the pitch to Herschel Walker. Cuts inside the 30, the 25, to the 20, and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Herschel Walker with another 1st down as he reaches the 18-yard line, and New Jersey is on the march again. And so the Maulers, who have fought tenaciously, clinging to a 10-0 lead at halftime, held on to it through the 3rd quarter, gave up a field goal earlier in this quarter, and rather a touchdown earlier in this quarter, and now are in danger of either seeing the lead erased or having the score tied. Herschel Walker, 152 yards in 25 carries, walking on water literally today. From the 18, Sipe, Walker goes the other way. And he hops over a man to the 15-yard line. And Troy Thomas drags him down. But it is all Herschel Walker. It is the Herschel Walker show at Three Rivers.
Well, Brian Sipe is a smart quarterback, realizes the conditions out here right now. Herschel Walker now I think has 152 yards rushing. We're going to continue to give him the football because he's running very effectively in his weather. What we've got to do right now is hold him to a field goal possibility and make sure we don't give up the touchdown right here with 5 minutes to go in the game.
The rain may have stopped for the first time today, but the damage has been done. Well, it's drizzling ever so lightly out there, but the damage has been done here. This field, as Jack indicated, was just a quagmire without mud, of course, because it's an artificial surface. Quick pop for Carthen. 10-5 touchdown. And some of the defensive backs were playing pass. They had their back turned to the line of scrimmage, running downfield with the receivers, and Carthen went into the end zone virtually untouched. And for the first time today, New Jersey has a lead.
And it's been all Walker up to this point. That time it was just a quick trap, a quick opener inside, and Carthen took the football, and one of the defensive linemen got cut off trying to come down the line of scrimmage. Mike McKibben missed the tackle on the outside. Carthen broke it, and there was nobody between him and the goal line.
So Barbaro will hold for the extra point, and Ruzick will attempt it. There's the spot, the placement, the kick is up, and it is good. And so the New Jersey Generals have had an uphill climb all day, but they have come back. They have been equal to the occasion. Herschel Walker and that offensive line have been the entire story here in the rain at Three Rivers. It is 14-10. The New Jersey Generals now leading the Pittsburgh Maulers. Well, they know what has to be done, Jack, obviously. This football team has demonstrated some character today. They've played very hard. The conditions certainly have been bad for both sides. Let's see if the offense can't go to work and get it back again.
And looking back, it's been 2 penalties. One on Ron Crosby for being offside down around the 15-yard line, which gave them virtually a first down with a 3rd and short situation. And then the pass interference against Larry Friday, where 3rd and 10 would have probably made him punt the football away. And if the Maulers had moved it, maybe got maybe 2 or 3 first downs, maybe could have run the clock out. But it was a good call. Larry Friday had contact with him. It kept that drive alive, and it was Herschel Walker all the way down, and then finally Carthen with a big play for the touchdown.
Incidentally, a reminder that Ponderosa, the biggest little steakhouse in the USA, invites everyone 16 and under to win a workout with the Maulers, a replica jersey, autographed football, and photo album as well. There will be one winner from each of the Ponderosa steakhouses, so come in and pick up your entry blank today or anytime before May 30th and get ready to win with the Maulers and Ponderosa. 5:21 to play here in regulation time. The Maulers trailing 14-10 now have Amos Lawrence in the middle on this receiving team, along with Mickey Sutton and Johnny Durden.
I think Joe Penry realizes it's critical to get a good kickoff return right here, and they put Amos Lawrence back there to try to make a big play, get good field position for Carano.
So the Maulers now in a position where they need to score a touchdown. The ball fell off the kicking tee, and so they'll have to reset it again, and Ruzick will have to let it fly. As I indicated, the wind has been blowing briskly from the north all day, and it certainly has been to New Jersey's advantage here. I don't know if it was a factor in the drive.
225-pound running back that much quicker, but what they've really done in the 4th quarter, their offensive line coming off the football, and the fact of trying to tackle Herschel Walker all afternoon in the 4th quarter really takes its toll, especially on a defense who can't match up physically.
Here's Ruzick's kick, and of course with the wind behind him, he can get it fairly deep. He gets it to the 10-yard line. Johnny Durden up the far sideline to the 20, trying to cut back against the grain, and he won't make it. He's got 4 of those white jersey generals around him, and down he goes at the 22-yard line. Actually, he was pushed back all the way to the 15. So the Maulers now 78 yards away from a touchdown that'll give them a lead, and they got to have the 6 because they're trailing 14-10.
Well, it looks like from the way that flag is moving, maybe it's a little almost a crosswind, but he might have a little bit of wind at his back. Plus, the rain has stopped a little bit right here, and what we got to do is get the football to our wide people, either Anderson or Flowers, and you'll see a lot of zone defense from here on out from the Generals.
From the 22-yard line, Greg Anderson has not caught a pass today. Jackie Flowers has only 1. Carano has only completed 3 passes the entire game. But he'll be throwing a lot now, you can rest assured. Fires it out here, and it's caught by Flowers, and a great catch. Contact was made as the ball arrived by Gregory Johnson, and Flowers still held on up around the 40-yard line.
I can't say enough about the throw by Carano. It was a touch pattern. He had to lob the football over a defensive back, and Jackie Flowers running an out pattern, caught the football, took a shot from the defensive back, held on to the ball. A big play for the Maulers, got a first down around the 38-yard line.
So here we go now. The Maulers trying to have some instant offense. Holman in the backfield with William Miller. Both have good hands. They can catch the ball out of the backfield. Miller now in the pattern. Carano has good protection. Fires another one. Caught. And it's Anderson this time. Anderson looking to the official for a late hit as Terry Daniels hit him after he ran out of bounds. But it's a first down for the Maulers at the New Jersey 49-yard line. And here they come, and the rain seems to have stopped almost entirely. Now, if the sun would come out.
On that play, Greg Anderson running the exact same pattern that Jackie Flowers ran a time before. Got the ball on the sidelines, kept his feet in bounds. It's fortunate he could even see the out-of-bounds marker, kept his feet in bounds for a big first down.
They spot the ball at the New Jersey 48-yard line. The Maulers wanting desperately to prove that they can play with the big guys. The teams they've lost to this year are 39-8. Here's a short pop to Miller for yardage. Fumbles the ball. It's recovered by New Jersey, and they rule it was dead. The ball was dead. It's still Pittsburgh's football. The official on the far side ruled that the ground forced the fumble, and the ground cannot cause a fumble.
Sam, you're exactly right that time. The official from the other side of the field came over and made the call, made the correct call. He caught the football coming across the middle, came and got a hit from one of the defensive backs, and when he hit the ground, the ball popped loose. There's no way the ground can cause a fumble. You're exactly right.
So it's a gain of 7 yards on the completed pass and the ensuing fumble. It is 2nd down and 3. Time is not a factor. 3.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. The Maulers have all day to get it in. They just got to do it. Carano throws a short pop, and it's broken up very nicely by Bobby Leopold. And
we got a penalty, and it's an offside penalty. The official made the call. He could not get his flag out. He about maybe a second or two ago dropped the flag, called offsides because the defensive lineman from the Generals was in the neutral zone, called the play exactly right, but he had a hard time getting his flag out. He was running towards the line of scrimmage and then finally dropped it in the water over there on about the 45-yard line.
That's why I didn't see it. I looked around. I didn't see anything out there. Everybody was pointing.
Number 75, defense. First down.
Frank Mattiace is the guilty party there. Let me correct something I said about next Friday night's game. We said 8:30 would be airtime. It'll be 7:30 our time from Memphis on Friday night. 7:10 will be the pregame show. Kickoff at 7:30. So here go the Maulers. Let's worry about this game first. It is first down. Lawrence is in the backfield, and Carano on a delay to Lawrence inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. 10 yards on the delay, and the Maulers offense is really pumped up. And whatever crowd is left here at Three Rivers really into the game.
Gary Barbaro from his free safety position probably made a touchdown-saving tackle, had Amos Lawrence around the ankle, a quick trap, a quick draw inside a delayed play, and he almost broke it for a score.
What a terrific finish to talk about. We have about 2:45 to go in the 4th quarter. There wasn't a great deal of activity early on, but the Generals have stormed back to take the lead, and the Maulers now trying to wrestle it away from them. Here's Lawrence for another 3 yards. And that'll be a first down carry to the 21-yard line. 2:28 to go, and the clock continues to run. The Maulers have time to get in at least one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Then I believe, Jack, they have all their timeouts left.
They do have all their timeouts left, and it'll be a great drive to put this together, to come back after giving up a 10-point lead, coming back and maybe pushing a winning touchdown over. It would be a great morale boost for the entire football team, and especially the offense.
6 seconds. You got to get it off here, Glenn. Let's go. 2:03, 2:02, 2:01. 2-minute warning. He didn't get it off. So the 2-minute warning sounds. The Maulers with a first down at the New Jersey 22-yard line, and trailing New Jersey 14-10. We'll have the thrilling final 120 seconds after this break.
I'm Dave Hamburg with a Maulers Sports Update. Barring a tie in today's Washington Federals Oakland Invaders game, only one USFL team will be undefeated in the loss column after 9 games of play. The Feds and Invaders just teeing it up. In the second half, the time remaining and the games have changed. In the 3rd quarter, Philadelphia Stars have a 17-zip lead over the San Antonio Gunslingers. Next to Washington and Oakland, the Gunslingers have scored the fewest amount of points. San Antonio only has 90 points in 8 games. New Orleans Breakers still have a 10-3 lead over the Denver Gold. That game midway through the 3rd quarter. Monday night, Tampa Bay goes after their 6th win in 9 games when they travel to play the Michigan Panthers in Pontiac. Coming up next weekend, 3 games on Friday, including your Pittsburgh Maulers against Memphis, and they will try to get at the Showboats. New Orleans will be in Philadelphia, and Jacksonville travels to our nation's heartland area to play the Breakers. And San Antonio goes into Arizona next weekend as well. I'm Dave Hamburg with a Maulers Sports Update.
Sam Nover and Jack Ham back at a rainy, drenched, cold, windy Three Rivers Stadium. And whatever uneventful activity had transpired through the first 3 quarters, it certainly has been made up here in the fourth quarter. New Jersey came back from a 10-0 deficit to score 2 touchdowns. Herschel Walker has been scintillating here this entire ball game, but the Maulers are trying to steal the victory back again from New Jersey. They have a first down at New Jersey's 22-yard line. Carano fumbles the ball, picks it up, throws a short pass, and it's incomplete. They just averted disaster as Carano dropped the snap from center, reached down, picked the ball up, and then tried a short pass out in the flat. It was incomplete.
Very fortunate there again, the snap from center, which was we had a tough time early in the first half getting the ball from the center to Carano. Carano, I don't think he pulled out early. The ball was a little bit wet when it dropped on the football. When he dropped on the ground, it was wet. And he picked it up again to throw. It was just he just could not get anything on the ball.
Holman and Miller in the backfield on 2nd down and 10. Anderson is wide left. Flowers is to the right. The tight end is Mark Rao. And Carano on a delay to William Miller, the 20, to the 15, to the 13-yard line. Dropped the ball. It was Holman rather than Miller. And again, I think the ground caused the fumble. As he lost the ball after hitting the ground, he'll be about a yard shy of the first down. The Maulers retained possession of the ball, and it was Walter Holman, 32, rather than William Miller, the ball carrier, but a nice call.
And if it was a call either by Pendry or Carano, I think it was Carano that time, and had the Generals a guessing pass that time, had a delayed draw. He got 9 yards, 3rd and short situation. We're in 4-down territory now for sure, and this is again the situation where we do miss Rozier.
Bob Horn quickly dashes into the lineup along with Willie Harper. 3rd down and about a yard with 1:28 to go in the game. Carano needs the first down, then we'll worry about the 6. Straight ahead, first down to the 10, just outside the 10-yard line. And they're running right over Chuck Corral, the center, as William Miller found some daylight there and got a first down just outside the 10-yard line. The Maulers, with all of their timeouts left, are 10.5 yards away from perhaps the biggest victory in this young franchise.
Boy, if they can push us across 10 more yards, that time Bob Horn's the guy that made the play, but our offensive line and on his entire drive has given Carano good protection, and to come off the football running on the running game, it'd be a big boost for the team to put it in here.
Miller in the backfield with Holman again on first down from outside the 10. Here's the blitz. Carano looking in the end zone, throws a pass, and it's out of play. He threw it over Jackie Flowers' head, and he threw it out of bounds. The coverage by Kerry Justin, who had Flowers pretty well covered on the right side, and Carano wisely threw it out of bounds. It was if Flowers couldn't catch it, nobody would.
And they came with Generals that time, came with an all-out blitz. They had the safeties coming. They had one-on-one coverage. Jackie Flowers out there in the corner of the end zone. It had to be a perfect pass for him to make the catch. Justin was right on top of him.
Stops the clock with exactly 57 seconds left. Carano 6 out of 13 for 66 yards. Mind you, the Maulers had -3 yards passing in the first half. 2nd down and 10 from the 10.5. Carano pulls out. Throws a pop over the middle. Caught by Rao at the 3-yard line. At the 3-yard line, it'll be 3rd down. And the Maulers use a timeout here to stop the clock. 3 yards away from victory, perhaps.
Sam, I may be late for my locker room show, but I wouldn't miss this for the world. We got a chance to win this football game. And on 3rd down and about 2.5, maybe 3 yards to go for a winning touchdown, Mark Rao gets the football from Glenn Carano, who makes a good throw right across the middle. Carano showing good poise, staying in the pocket, delivers the football to Rao, who in his conditions right here, as wet as it is out there, made an excellent catch down around a 2.5, 3-yard line.
Good play by John Preston, the rookie out of Central State of Oklahoma. He's the guy who put Rozier out earlier in the ball game, a young safety, and for a rookie playing very well in that secondary. The announcers for today's game were chosen by Sheridan Broadcasting, subject to the approval of the Civic Arena Corporation and the Pittsburgh Maulers. Well, this certainly would be a wonderful way to end our Easter Sunday with a victory here. The Maulers having jumped off to a 10-0 lead. They've seen it evaporate. New Jersey's taken the lead. 2 touchdowns here in the fourth quarter. And the Maulers, with 48 seconds left in regulation time and 2 timeouts remaining, have a 3rd down and 3 yards to go. They can get a first down without getting the touchdown.
And it looks like they might go to the running game. Don Maggs just went to the official and said, I'm going to be a tight end on this play. He's going to line up at tight end, so they may try to just force the football in on the running game on the last 2.5, 3 yards.
Well, let's see. They got 2 cracks at it here. Let's see what Joe Pendry has planned. Johnny Durden is in the lineup. So is Greg Anderson, and so is Jackie Flowers. So they got 3 receivers. They're still huddled up back at the 12-yard line. They have not broken huddle yet. 48 seconds to play. Don't you worry about your locker room show. Giordano and I will fill till you get ready. Don't you dare leave now.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they put this in right here, it'll be a happy locker room show, and it'll be a great boost to the entire Mauler football team, and the way their offense is taking the football from the 20-yard line down here to the 3, and if they can put it in right here, it'd be a great win for the Maulers.
They are still huddled up. It is just wet all over this field. There are puddles all over, and they're not in the best part of the football field at all to run the next 2 plays if they need 2 plays. There are puddles right where the ball will be spotted. The officials keeping it dry for the moment. Now the Maulers come out of their huddle. They send Jackie Flowers to the right. Durden is in tight on a wing to the left. And the slot is Anderson to the right. Holman is a lone setback. 3 receivers and 1 setback, and Mag's an eligible tight end. Carano rolls out. He's grabbed by Harper, and they stop the play at the 12-yard line. Willie Harper shooting the gap on the left side as Carano rolled to his side. And let's see, the Generals are not real happy about it. There's a flag down, and it's against New Jersey.
Against New Jersey.
May have been offsides here. Harper got a great jump on the ball, Jack. He was in the backfield, and he was the one, and they're just disgusted. New Jersey, obviously, but it'll be half the distance to the goal line.
Well, there are 2 flags out there, so obviously both officials saw the play and they saw it the right way. It was offsides by the Generals.
56 defense. Still 3rd down.
11-year veteran out of Nebraska, former San Francisco 49er Willie Harper made the big play, but he made the big faux pas at the same time. He went offsides and gave the Maulers now a 3rd down from the 1.5-yard mark. They have not scored a rushing touchdown from over 1 yard. This is more than a yard out. Kimachik in motion. The pitch is to Lawrence. Trying to go outside, and they trap him back at the 5. They tried the sweep to the left side, and New Jersey strung it out, and finally Leclerc got in there to make the stop back at the 5-yard line, and the Maulers call a timeout with 36 seconds to play, and they are down to their final play.
Sam, 3rd and goal from the 1, and trying to get Amos Lawrence outside in these kind of conditions. I'm not trying to second guess Joe Pendry, but you try to hammer the ball inside. We have 2 downs to get 1 yard, and you try to just push the football inside because you can't be sure you're footing on the outside. You know they're going to blitz off the corner. There was just nowhere for Amos Lawrence to go. And right now on 4th and 6 from the, or really 4th and goal at this point, we need a touchdown pass here to pull this game out.
They could get the 1st down, Jack. The end of the sticks are at about the half-yard line. But you know with their last play, they aren't looking for a 1st down. They're going to try to get the ball in the end zone. And one would guess it'll be some kind of option for Carano where he can roll and get some people in the end zone and try to throw the ball there.
And at this point right now, the Generals will come. They're going to go into an all-out blitz here to try to make Carano pull up. He maybe try to roll out outside the pocket at the same area where Harper caught him last time for maybe a 12 or 13-yard sack, which was called back for offsides. But this is the play of the game right here.
Here we go. Maulers now huddling up back at their 12-yard line. They've got 3 wide receivers now, along with the tight end Mark Rao. And they come out of their huddle. They spit both Flowers and Anderson to the right. And Joel Coles is a lone setback behind Carano, obviously for blocking purposes. Durden in motion to the right. Carano rolling to his right. Now looks back, throws one into the end zone to Anderson. It's batted away. A great defensive play by Gregory Johnson, the strong safety. He was one-on-one with Greg Anderson. He went high over Anderson and knocked the ball away. And Anderson looked around for perhaps an interference call, but there was none. And New Jersey is going to win this football game on just an outstanding goal line stand under the worst conditions possible. Carano rolled to his right. He had time to throw the ball, and the play was designed to go back the opposite way. He arched a high pass. Anderson went for it, and Johnson closed very quickly on him on the far side end zone and got a hand in the way, leaping up over Greg Anderson, the intended receiver, to knock the ball away. And so it goes over to New Jersey on downs. And what an unfortunate thing. The Maulers came ever so close to beating New Jersey today, and now the Generals can just simply run this clock out. And Sipe just takes a snap from center. And the Maulers utilizing their last timeout. McKibben flashes the tee. So with 25 seconds to go in the game, they get their last timeout. The announcers for today's game were chosen by Sheridan Broadcasting, subject to the approval of the Civic Arena Corporation and the Pittsburgh Maulers. And of course, the executive producer for Maulers football is Roger Fairfax. Our game today produced and directed by J.C. Floyd. Traffic manager Michelle Jackson. Our production director Tony Martin. And the chief of engineering is Randy Dietrich. And following this broadcast, Tony Giordano will have the replays for you and all the post-game activity, and then Jack Ham in the locker room, unfortunately with an unhappy Mauler club because they came ever so close today to winning this football game and having the opportunity with 4 sets of downs from just outside the New Jersey 10-yard line. They were not able to push it in, and New Jersey held on downs. And of course the costly play was the 3rd down run, the sweep by Lawrence when they had 3rd down at the 1.5-yard line, and they elected to try to sweep Lawrence outside, and he got thrown down back at the 5. So Sipe will have to snap it one more time, I believe, and that'll do it. And they snap the football, and the clock continues to run 16 seconds, and that will be it. They will not have to run another play. And the handshaking now down on the field. Ron Crosby shaking hands with Brian Sipe. They obviously have met up a few times before, Sipe in Cleveland and Crosby with the New York Jets, and this game is history. And it's a very sad way to end the day, but the Maulers, having come back from catastrophe last Sunday, played their hearts out today and simply got beat by a great running back, Herschel Walker. The 10. Stay tuned for the wrap-up show with Tony Giordano, followed by the Locker Room Report with Jack Ham right after this.
Introducing the smooth, clean taste of the Mountain.